The views expressed
Dow's
on
down
previous
200. Don't
programs
jump
are
yet,
those of the
though.
hosts, guests, and
In
callers
fact,
and do not
don't pull the
reflect
trigger
those
yet.
of
We'll let you know when to pull
Broadcast
it.
Group, its
And
staff,
the trigger, too.
advertisers, or agencies.
The biggest names, the best
Great
talent.
picture on our website. Everybody
You're
take a
listening
puke
to
at that.
Sports Radio 560 WQAM. Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah. Well, that's bad news.
No, you just weren't hearing it. It was someone messed with the button.
Yeah, likely story.
560
Same
WQAM
difference. You screwed up.
presents
Why
the
don't you
Neil
just
Rogers
screwed
Show.
up?
To
Bad.
talk to Neil,
Bad
dial
show.
I'm sorry, I'll see you later.
560
Yeah.
in Dade and Broward.
Okay, so you're
In
gonna
other
not be
counties,
here on Friday?
call toll-free
I have no idea.
877-785-NEIL.
Why don't you
or
just show up on
pound
Friday?
560 on your
Yeah.
AT&T and Verizon wireless phones. The opinions expressed by Neil,
And those
his
show up
guests,
all
or
weekend.
his callers do not
Sounds good.
represent those of WQAM management, staff, or sponsors. Now, the Neil Rogers Show on 560 WQAM.
Neil Young. Who's got water on his brain? Maverick John McCain. Sabotaging his campaign with Sarah, his companion, gambling with his aide. Used to be a moderate who now and then disagree. That's why the Republicans gave him the name of Maverick, Maverick John McCain. Ring the closing bell, the economy's gone to hell. Deregulation, Maverick John McCain. Doddering old and gray, neocon all the way. Rented a Ford Maverick in 78. Brain cells rotting away, cancer all over his face. Drooling stinky custard on his chest. Cranky and elderly, puffy saddleback cheeks. Maverick John McCain calls you his friend. Maverick John McCain is close to death.
I'm your friend. It's 10:01 at 560 WQAM. Happy Wednesday to you. You realize Halloweeni's not that far away?
Nope.
Get out the razor blades.
Oh, no.
I guess that's a myth. I guess that's just one of those urban myths or suburban.
Yeah, I mean, maybe somebody did it somewhere, but...
Yeah, about 100 years ago, somebody stuck a razor blade in an apple.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
People don't do that. You have to be
The
sick.
needles. Yeah, well, there are sick people.
Speaking of sick, that picture of me under the pole went up this morning. Those of you who have been waiting to see me 20 years ago in my really, really fat days. Not the fattest I ever was, though. 1973, WSPB in Sarasota. I was 266. I was really, wow. You know, and in looking at that picture, it brought something to mind. You know, one thing that fat people generally don't do, they're like Dracula. We don't like mirrors.
Oh, yeah?
Am I right, Fat Chris?
Yep.
And like when I'm sitting here and I'm working on the computer, I'm typing something in there, and I have a mirror, you know, a mirrored closet over to the right here. So if I'm facing the computer and I look to the right, and I'm sitting here like in my boxer shorts, and I can see that big fat poop, nothing at all like what you're seeing in that picture. And that alone should be enough. When you look how gross and disgusting you are, you think, oh, geez, that's what should motivate you to lose like a lot of weight. Between now and tomorrow, I'm going to lose 30 pounds.
About 30, man.
Well, I'm going to lose an ounce or two. I'm going to start. If I got your permission to start on the Atkins again?
Please do.
Get that blood sugar down nice and low?
I'll help.
No, there's no wet spot on my boxers. But now,
I
Brandon,
remember
no,
I told you the
there's no-
picture has some...
The picture's got some blotches on
Yeah.
it. It's not a wet spot.
I told you. It looks like...
Oh, does it?
It looks like
me see
they
again.
did.
No, that's just a blot. In fact, if you look at the paint over on the left on the wall there's a blotch there, too. That's just
I could
a-
Photoshop it and make it look a little bit better.
No, leave
Little
it the way it
blotchier.
is. That
Little-
adds to the ambiance of it.
I could make that blotch yellow.
That adds to the ambiance. So I already got the first email this morning about it from Mark in Miami. Mark starts out by asking a question.
Why?
With several question marks. Mark wants to know,
Why?
please, Neil, I love you, but can you either remove that picture or put it further down so when I'm voting on the poll, I don't have to see that? It's just wrong. It's just wrong. I don't think it's wrong at all. I think it's right. I think that if you can't laugh at yourself, how can you laugh at anybody else?
Uh-huh.
Like Fat Chris. How can you call Chris a fat pig when if you can't laugh at yourself? Isn't that right, Chris?
Sounds good to me.
So there's the picture, and feel free to make all the caustic comments you want. Now, keep in mind, that's 20 years ago. And that hair. Obviously, I had just crawled out of the sack, and I hadn't brushed my hair or anything, and looked very confused and dazed. The Dow's down 238. I'm going to try not to, cough and choke and puke. I got some Hall's sugar-free vitamin C cough drops last night. I ate a whole bunch of them, and boy, was I ever busy. Wow. Talk about a wet spot. Man, I was running back, and I keep going back to bed, and then I would think to myself, why am I doing this? Because I know in about 2 minutes I'm going to get up and make a run back in there again.
Right.
I did. I was running.
Just take your phone and your newspaper.
No, not when I'm going to bed. I'm not taking the newspaper. Why, is there a news? Oh, then we had the election here last night. The Conservatives won other minority government and won more seats than they had before even. And that's because of that damn stupid liberal Stefan Dion. No speaking English. No speaking English. Parlez-vous français? Frog. And the elections here are so screwed up. They don't vote for the candidates themselves, for the party leaders of the Conservative or Liberal or NDP or whatever. They vote for the candidates in their individual ridings. They don't call them districts or precincts. They call them ridings, as in Little Red Riding in the Hood.
Okay, I'm not sure I understand that.
No, well, no. So in other words, it's like representatives. And so each party has so many ridings that they win, and whichever party gets the most ridings, they form the government. And their party leader, he's the prime minister. It's just a mess. It's a nightmare. It's a joke. And I love when they start showing the early returns. And in riding number so-and-so, well, let's see, Ken Dryden's got 6 votes, and this one's got 3. And another one. I mean, there's nobody here. There's 30 million people in the whole country. And other than Toronto and Montreal, where they had the Bloc Québécois in Montreal, the Frog Bloc, and in Vancouver, other than that, the rest of the country is like all rednecks. The prairies, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. You prairies.
You fairy.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if there's any fairies in the prairies. I bet you there are.
Oh, yeah.
So I would imagine I'm going to get inundated with, or maybe not. Maybe Mark's the only one who's offended by that picture. He said it's just wrong. Get a life, Mark. Get a sense of humor. Hours after a married congressman addressed a report that he had an affair with a former aide and paid her to keep quiet about it, details of a purported tryst with a second woman surfaced.
Oh, my God.
How do you like that?
Who's this?
Democratic U.S. Representative Tim Mahoney.
Oh.
Though he did not directly mention allegations first reported by ABC News that he had been involved with a former aide, he issued a statement apologizing to his family, but denying he'd done anything illegal. Like George, he don't do anything illegal. He just screws around.
No, that's not true. I do lots of things illegal.
Well, that's drugs. Oh, I got to think about the drugs. Oh, we have to add on today's poll, I don't do drugs. Somebody was really ticked off at you.
At me?
Yeah, for the poll, although you had nothing to do with that poll being up. Although it's a repeat, so probably the first time you've done it. Here it is. Let me find the email. Or maybe it's a she-mail. No, it's from Jose.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Nothing. I just wonder what Jose's into.
George is a junkie. He thinks that everyone uses drugs, so add to the poll, I don't use any drugs. Thanks. No problem, Jose. Jose's a good, clean, living,
right.
druggie
Sure
like
he
you
doesn't
are.
drink or jaywalk or anything like that, yeah.
Later Tuesday, a person close to the campaign of Tim Mahoney told the AP that Mahoney was also having an affair with a second woman around the same time. He had that thing busy, man. He was poking it over here and poking it over there. Maybe he was hanging out in the Poconos. Who knows? Mahoney, 52, won his seat in 2006 while promising to return morals and family values to Washington in the aftermath of the resignation of former Republican U.S. Representative Mark Foley.
You fairy.
Foley stepped down when it was revealed he sent lurid internet messages to male teenage pages who had worked on Capitol Hill. Foley was later cleared of criminal wrongdoing by state and federal authorities, and he's gone back to live with his boyfriend in West Palm Beach. So this guy promised to return morals and family values. As soon as somebody says that, like Larry Craig, you know they're tapping it. They're tapping something a lot.
Their foot?
Yeah, they're tapping their foot and whatever else. Now, why is... Just relax, Brandon, okay? I don't need all these comments about my... that's 20 years ago. And it makes me feel so much better about myself now. Now, here's a bunch of emails, but I don't think they have anything to do with... Vasti Oliveira, another fake name, another crank. Vasti Oliveira. I'm sure this is going to be caustic. Neil, if Obama bin Laden gets elected, are you prepared for the U.S. to become a socialist country? That's about the 10th time. Let me block that idiot.
Mm-hmm.
If he gets elected, are you prepared for the U.S. to become a socialist country? Yeah, I read it the first 600 times, and it was just as amusing, and I just blocked your stupid ass. Greg in Melbourne says, mark my words, this will go down. I've predicted the over-under, the number of times McCain uses the term my friends in tonight's debate, at 36.5. I say it'll be over the total. These people evidently don't care about that picture. What? And Bugsy's got some comment here. Makes no sense. Nothing. Mark in Miami was the only person that had anything coherent to say about that grotesque picture on NeilRogers.com, right under the poll. I just don't get it. What is with these people anyway?
They're lame.
Lame is the name of the game in South Florida. The lame game. Remember that, Shirley Ellis?
Sure.
Lame game. Now, which one is that? The Ebonics name game?
Yes.
That's what I thought. The blame game. The lame game. Can you play it?
Come on, everybody.
Yeah. I love that. Okay, well, we'll get to the poll results and all the other stuff, but I thought, didn't you think there would be a tremendous outpouring of emotion on
Not
that
tremendous.
picture?
Here
Something?
and there. That's
Something
brand new.
besides Mark and Miami saying, why? It's just wrong.
Give them a chance.
It's just wrong. They don't have a sense of humor. That's the problem. They're humorless. Maybe that's because the Dow's down 200 and some odd point, and they've lost all their money on paper. It's only on paper. It's a buying opportunity, baby.
This is Neil Rogers.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The sports leader.
No portion of this program may be reproduced
No
without the
speaking
express written
English.
permission of WQAM BZ Broadcast Group Incorporated.
Howard David's a bitch.
Beady eyes, he looks like a nerd. They call him Bird. Things are different since you left town. Oh, Bird, one less vulture is hanging round. Hang up right now. Whenever you call, you're one more chronic crank, and the show goes right in the tank. We've got you to thank because all of the lines just went blank. Please hang up and just go away. Why don't you call up FLA? What the hell were you thinking of? Don't call back till next issue of. Go away and don't bother me. Go rent a copy of Saved by Me. Please hang up and just go.
Hey, Jim Schuyler, the late and great. I don't know, is he still alive or what? We'll never find out. If anybody out there knows anything about Jim Schuyler and his whereabouts, send us an email. Neil@NeilRogers.com. Jackie says, yesterday you mentioned the Bird. What happened to him? Back then there was a song about him. All it said was, Bird, Bird, can you play it? I just did, Jackie. From the great Jim Schuyler. He did some good stuff with very primitive equipment, to say the best. Right?
Right.
Which I guess that's what made it even more effective. It was like the old black and white movies, you know, like Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
It added something to the ambiance. Well, anyway, what happened to him was he died. The Bird. Long live the Bird. Been dead a long time now.
He's all right.
Yeah. He's dead. A lot of dead people, you know. Now, that's a good question. Are there more living people or dead people? Because there's like 7 or 8 billion people crawling around on the planet. That's a lot of people. Too many. I'll pick the ones who can stay, and the rest of them we're putting them on a gigantic spaceship and sending them to Uranus. It would be a beautiful world, except for us. What about Fat Chris? Do we let him stay?
He won't be long anyway.
Someone's got to do the work.
You're going to be dead pretty soon if you don't lose an ounce. And by the way, the picture of me there from 20 years ago, I'm not even close to his gigantic... I never came close to 300. Now, how tall are you?
5'10".
Oh, 5'10", so you got an inch on me. I'm sure at least. But I'm 5'9". But even so, I mean, 1 inch. Here's an email that says, ho, 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 Neil. I just saw the new picture of you on the website, and boy, were you a fat tub of lard. You know, Neil, you keep shoveling the ice cream down your throat, and you're going to die. Now retire, your brother in fat, Jolly ho, 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 it says, from the fake Jolly Joe. Oh, here's one from the fake cousin Brucey. These people must all be Daniel Bastard people, you know, the fake Hank Goldberg and the fake Jim Mandich and the fake talk host, the fake general manager Stu Gatz. Don't forget, the numbers come out Friday, the summer book, The Summer Knows. Remember that with Hermie? Whatever happened to Gary Grimes?
I don't know.
Maybe he was kind of grimy. And what was her name? Jennifer O'Neill? Was she in that movie? Yes. The Summer of 42. You never saw it.
I did.
Oh. And the Class of 44. And she dragged him after she got the telegram that her husband died in the war.
Mm-hmm.
WW2. And she schlepped him into bed. She made him take all his clothes off, and she schlepped him into bed and screwed his brains out. I would imagine it probably didn't take too long. The fake cousin Brucey says, my first thought upon seeing that picture is you should have the acronym NSFW, not safe for work, in big bold letters above the picture. Not safe for work. Seriously, had any of my coworkers or supervisors been around my desk when I checked on your site this morning, I would have been fired, and perhaps even arrested. Really, it's the facial expression more than anything else. You look like you're being tortured at Abu Ghraib. My second thought was that despite all that, you look better in that picture at 45 than I do now at 35. Holy Schmidt, I'm balding at a much faster rate than you were, and my body, while nearly as bald, is getting there. Uh-oh, I think I'm going to kill myself now. Just in case I do, I want to tell my wife and parents I love them. Well, my parents anyway. The fake cousin Brucey. Now, there was a real tub of turd, cousin Brucey, with a bad hairpiece. Oh, my God. I'll never forget that day they dragged him in there. They schlepped him in. Oh, you notice, have you watched this thing about the Great American Schlep for votes?
Yes.
And all the kids, I say kids, you know, the people under the age of 100 are going to South Florida to see Grandma and Grandpa and make sure they vote for Obama. And I don't know about any of you, but I was bitterly offended by some of these old Jews. And really what they wanted to say was, oh, I don't want to vote for no Schwarzer. They wanted to say that, but they couldn't bring it. Well, he's a different color. You know, he's a different, as if. And I thought that us Jews were supposed to be the liberal ones. Liberal and open-minded and progressive. I've got news for you. Any group of people you talk about have got plenty of prejudice.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty of bigotry to go around. Oh, those Schwarzers. First of all, and I was thinking about this last night to show you how sick I've been the last week or so with this flu. It's a damn good thing for us and for Barack that he's not a shade darker.
You're right.
Now, let me ask you this question. Do you think that... Let me think of somebody who's really dark black.
Wesley Snipes.
Okay. Now, do you think he could get elected?
No. He has a hard time not getting arrested.
Right. Just for...
on sight.
LWRB. Living while real black.
Right. He's inky black.
Wow. Like Nat King Cole. He was really, really, really dark.
Black as coal.
So Obama, I mean, he's half and half anyway. You know, he's Oreo.
That's right.
Thank God. Because if he was like really dark complected, oh, those Schwarzes, oh, I don't know, I can't vote. So all you Jews down there, you screwed it up in 2000 with those Pat Buchanan votes in Palm Beach County with those stupid Teresa Lepore butterfly ballots. Don't screw it up again. Obama needs Florida bad, so all you old Jews, vote Democratic like you have all your life. And stop letting all this racial chazarai get in the way. If I could get rid of just this little last bit of phlegm.
Well, please do it on the air.
That's what I'm trying to do. It adds for effect. Between the phlegm and that beautiful picture there. It's just wrong. That was a good email. Thank you, Mark. You made my day. Give me a little chuckle.
Did you get the one from me yet?
What?
Did you get the one from me yet?
No, I'm not looking on there. I'm talking now. I try to do that during the breaks.
Amateur.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Here's one from George. Which one is the serial killer? Oh, where'd you get that other picture? Oh, that's just a blow up of wow.
Yeah, I just cropped it.
He cropped it. There's David Berkowitz, the son of Sam.
Read the message.
Actually, he's lovely compared to me.
Read the little message there.
The little message? I didn't see it. There is no little
I wrote
message.
you an email.
Oh, yeah. Which one is the serial killer?
That's the comment. That's the subject line.
Oh. 2 of them are the son of Sam. The other one just wants some ham. Oh, no, not for me, no ham. Trafe. I really don't like ham. Ham is kind of tasteless.
I love ham.
It's hard to cut, and it's tasteless.
No. You go into the deli, you get yourself some like some honey smoked ham or something, all thin sliced and everything, and then
get the smoke honey.
And you just roll it up and eat it with your fingers.
Oh, no.
And the ham, too.
Bleh. Not for me. I'm not a big ham man.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me delete that.
I'll take your portion.
Oh, Travis says, all I can say about that picture is, and then he's got like 70 E's, 50 U's, like that. Like that. Oh, Paul Castronova. Paul Castronova said, the fake Paul Castronova says, what's the weather today in Toronto? Toast is a right-wing Nazi. He is, but he's gay for you. Love you, Neil. Paul Castronova. The fake one, of course. It's a little bit of sunshine out there. What is the weather? I'd rather look at that than look at those damn stocks. God, that's depressing, ain't it?
Yep.
It's really depressing. Oh, Live with Regis and Kelly is on now. I'm missing that. Christ. Okay, let me see what the temperature... Oh, it's only 52. It's going to be 18 today, though. 64. That's not so bad. It's going to be toasty. Great day for Woodbine. Don't let me forget about 1:30.
All right.
Be all dressed,
Don't
get
forget.
my shoes on, my pantaloonies.
I won't.
Here's one from Mike in Fort Myers. It says, just wondering which shirtless stud is on autograph calendar in the background. And help me get out of this place. Now, that's interesting. I don't know. Let me go back to the picture again. There's a shirtless stud on the in the back. Do you see any shirtless stud on the wall behind me? Because I don't have any.
Yeah, I'm blowing it up.
Stud.
Hang on.
No. Sounds like wishful thinking, Mark. You better get out of Fort Myers before they find out.
Looks like it's a calendar maybe or something.
Oh.
Over your shoulder.
Yeah. But that don't have no shirtless guys on it.
Yes, it is. It's a shirtless guy, and it's a calendar. It's probably.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that must be the German calendar. Those twins? Is that the one with the twins?
It's a single guy. It's an individual.
Oh, geez. Well, if he's single, maybe he wants to mingle. Too bad I don't have the picture of those twins.
Soloflex calendar. There's exercise chart underneath.
It's a what?
It's a Soloflex calendar. There's an exercise chart underneath the one picture.
Well, can't you see I'm working out?
I can see it.
Here's the poll from yesterday. What's the most embarrassing thing that can happen to you? 897 votes. Pooping your pants, having no place to run and or hide while it runs down your leg. 463. Audibly ripping a tremendous and stinky fart, Joyce, in a quiet room full of people. 160. Being caught masturbating by one or both of your parents, 125. Being caught with weird porn, 68. Getting your period messing up your pants in somebody's couch or chair, 41. Peeing in your pants, having no place to run and or hide while it runs down your leg, 40 out of 897. Shall we take a look at today's poll? Digging out some of these oldies and baddies, but that's the way it goes, because you people aren't sending me any good suggestions. If we get anything good, we use it. Maybe Brandon could do the poll. I put the one up there again about the drugs. Oh, no, that's the one today. About racism, that's the one for tomorrow. Now, let's see. No, Brandon, Eric hasn't put it on there yet. So maybe somebody will send me a really good one for tomorrow. But I doubt it. I doubt it.
The best talent.
This is Neil Rogers.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The sports leader.
The biggest names. The best
talent.
It's the big dog, Joe Rose.
Weekday morning, 7 to 10.
Where South Florida sports
always matters.
Always matters.
Sports Radio 560 QAM. The sports leader.
Neil Rogers, God.
Barack Obama believes kindergartners should be taught about sex.
I'm John McCain, and I approve this message.
John McCain wants to stay in Iraq for 100 years.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
Barack Obama wants to force you to have an abortion, even if you don't want to, and the abortion will be performed by a terrorist on an American flag.
I'm John McCain, and I approve this message.
John McCain wants to force you to have babies, even if you're a man. And the penalty for having an abortion will be death.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
In 2005, Barack Obama voted to make everyone have AIDS.
I'm John McCain.
And become transvestite, crackhead, heroin junkie porn actors.
I'm John McCain.
Then he puked on an American flag.
I'm John McCain, and I approve this message.
John McCain is 217 years old. He's going to die in office. And Sarah Palin will make you eat moose.
Wait a minute. Moose?
Yes, moose.
You really think people are going to believe that?
Yes.
I'm Barack Obama.
I'm John McCain, and I approve this message.
Oh, yeah, let's have some Moosey droppings for lunch. What?
That was great.
Wasn't that good?
I coughed up a lung. Play that again, son of Sam.
Okay. Let's play it the whole day. Here's the pull we got going on there now. The Dow is down 272. It's not good. It's just hovering above 9,000. And there's Ben Bernanke saying, bada-beep, bada-boop, bada-boop.
Forming our financial system.
Oh, God. 584 is what we got on the poll right now for Fat Chris. We're going for 750 today. 800. 800.
We can do that.
You better do it or you're not coming in on Friday.
Okay.
I'm not buying that whole deal. You better get that straightened out.
Yeah, I'm kind of figuring if I don't hear anything, I'm just not going to come in Friday. Because he probably doesn't even realize he gave me the day off again.
So in other words, you don't really want to be here on Friday.
No, I do want to be here, but I'm not going to pass up having 2 days off in a week.
I don't want to be here on Friday.
No, you don't want to be here. I don't. I don't want to be here any day. I want to win the lotto for about 25 million tax-free. What?
Let's all not be here on Friday.
No, we got to work on Friday. Well, what kind of holiday is Friday? Is it Sukkot yet?
That's
Sukkot
book
is coming soon. All you old bigoted Jews out there, you better vote for the Schwarzer. Let me tell you that right now. That really just frosted my ass. The great schlep for votes. Oh, brother. I mean, wouldn't you be embarrassed to go on CNN or like on camera anywhere? Even like in Opelika, and you go on camera and just, oh, I don't know, he's a different color. Cox ahoys, honey. God. That was down 270. 590 votes, 590. What's your recreational drug of choice? Alcohol, 331. Marijuana, 170. Other, prescription, designer, etc., has got 30.
About 30, man.
I don't do drugs, 26. Damn good thing we added that. Cocaine, 15. Acid, 7. Heroin, 6. Ecstasy, 5. Ecstasy, my ass.
I don't
What
think
about
so.
the crystal meth?
No, thanks.
No, but do you want to put that on there?
If you wish.
When you say recreational drug of choice, I mean, what, you know.
Yeah.
As opposed to prescription
As opposed to
drug.
prescription that you take for your blood pressure medicine.
Well, then why do you have other prescription shouldn't be on there?
Yes, it should be.
Oh, that's right. Some people do
Prescription drugs for fun.
Tuinals.
Like Xanax and, the pain pills. Like Rush,
You ever do
for
any
example.
Tuinals?
Rush does, choose the oxys.
Oh, and look at this. For the best online pharmacy, Margaret says, buy the cheapest Levitra in our online pharmacy. I just got that on my Crackberry. Just as we were speaking now. Boy, I'm telling you, my psychic powers, I sure hope I find me a good machine today. And they're all done with the comments about that picture. I thought we'd be overwhelmed. With the comments. I got a couple more here, but that's it. Would you go see Religulous even though Bill Maher's in it? Yes, no. Who's Bill Maher? Oh, this is a poll idea? Oh, give me a break. That will you go see Religulous is worth a poll? Come on. And even Brandon sent me a bad one about the internets. I guess we just won't do the poll for tomorrow unless you want to stick with that one, the old one that I yanked out. Do you consider yourself somewhat racist, not racist at all, or very racist?
Okay.
We did that before. Mm-hmm. You want to hear the result from the first time?
Sure.
We've probably done it more than once. I say let's do like Footy did. Look what it did for him. Where can you get the best weenie in town, you know? What a jerk. And you know something? I don't really even blame him. I blame the people. I blame Ken Charles and the fools at Cheap Channel for putting him on the air. Proof you're a talk show host, you know. Such disrespect for this craft, for this crap. We had 477 votes is all we had the first time. That's way back. It was poll number 16. Boy, that must be a long time ago. We've been on this station way too long, you know what?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Well, nothing we can do now. Nobody wants us now. Somewhat racist, 297. Not racist at all, 111. And very racist, 68. Yeah, he's not the same color. So that's the poll that we got on there now today about the drugs, recreational, etc. And we got, I think, 600 votes, I bet. 603, Fat Chris. Our goal is 45 million is our goal.
Say what?
If we don't get 45 million votes, we're going to have Josh Friedman's going to come in and take a big dump on Chris's head.
Please, no.
Yes.
No.
He's going to sit on your face and take a huge dump. Oh, yeah. And then he's going to stick a scalpel in his pupik. And 400 pounds of cottage cheese mung are going to come spewing out all over your body. Boy, he wasn't just fat, he was disgusting. Is he still across the street, Josh Friedman?
I think so.
Good. Better them than us. Better them than us. God. Once upon a time when he was there and the Humper was there, because and me, and who else? What were the other fat people? That was a really fat place once upon a time. Now, not so fat. Hank is gone. I'm not there in the building. We got Fat Chris, and I think that's it. We got any other fat people?
Beast. Hello. Beast.
Oh, yeah. And Jolly Joe. And Zach.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We got plenty of pork. Dempsey says, what came to mind on that picture? Who took the picture? George and my friend Dave took the picture. Isn't he your best friend?
Yes. Best
if it was 20 years ago, were you living in Kendall, right? No, I was not. I was not in Kendall. I was in Plantation. I lived in Kendall also. The backdrop looks like an apartment I lived in. Did you live at Nob Hill Apartments on Kendall Drive at about 99th Avenue? No, I never lived there. I lived in Kendall for a couple of years. Few years, I guess, but way long ago. I lived in Four Quarters Habitat, and then I moved down to Horizons and then Towngate. I bought a townhouse in Towngate. Had some nice tenants there when I got the hell out of Kendall, and then I sold it to them, and I don't know what happened after that. And I don't care. I don't care. No, it was in Plantation. And I can't begin to tell you the name of the joint. It's not too far from the... it's Sunrise and... somewhere.
Oh.
No, Pine Island. It's just to the west of that shopping center. It's got the Winn-Dixie there and the whole deal. On the corner. And Schlockbuster. So whatever the name of that place is, somebody will tell me what it is. And what difference does it make where it was? Jesus, God. Here's one from, Mr. Radio. I blocked him yesterday, but for some strange reason he made a comeback. Does that block thing not always work? It's the same address. It's Mr. Radio 610. Good morning, Neil. I missed the open of the show, but I believe that lady was talking about the old bit Scott Chapin did about the bird. Did you know Cousin Brucey was on Sirius? He sounds great. He still does great talk-ups. Guess what, Mr. Radio? I don't know, and I don't care. And he's a real a-hole, just like you, Mr. Radio. Cousin Brucey. A good pair. Why don't you elope with him? Or just elope with his hairpiece would be good. Mr. Radio is back.
This is Neil Rogers.
Nudnik. Real Nudnik. Yenta. Probably Fat Boy.
The biggest names, the best talent. It's the Mad Dog, Jim Mandich. Afternoons, 4 to 7. Sports Radio 560 QAM. The sports leader.
Grab my junior, honey.
I miss it so boring.
What's better than a live radio show every morning on TV? Well, just about anything. But that hasn't stopped MSNBC from teaming up with radio's original bad boy, who now looks like a nasty old lady.
Listen, Bernie.
Imus.
Tell that intern this copy sucks.
Yes, every morning, see Imus listen to a tape of other people's comedy bits, live on the air.
I need a hammer to bite into this muffin. Somebody give me a fresh one, please. Thank you.
See his wild behind-the-scenes antics.
Hey, listen to me, stupid. I am the I-Man. You are the walrus. Cuckoo-ca-choo. Now get me some fresh coffee or you're fired.
Imus. He's irreverent.
So what's the deal with the Pope?
He's topical.
So what's the deal with this Watergate raid?
He's incoherent.
I'll tell you what. That's is it double repentant? What the hell is it? I don't know.
He's
Ibis and he's boring.
And he's only on MSNBC, a cable channel nobody watches, and a bunch of AM radio stations nobody listens to.
And but somebody get some fresh jingle.
It's Imus.
10:44 at 560 WQAM. We got the Big O at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Part 2 of his all-day extravaganza. All Big O all the time.
Rock solid.
That's the new format. Mad Dog 4 to 7. Dolphins tonight 7 to 8 as they continue to lament that horrendous blow deal they did at the end of the game. I can't say job. 8 o'clock, we got the, look at that. We got the Phillies and the Dodgers, the last game of that series. Am I right? Aren't the Phillies had 3 games to 1?
I believe so, yes.
And that's the 3-1 over the Dodgers, who swept the Cubs. How about that Cubs bandwagon, Neil? You on it yet? Ho, ho, ho! Boy, some of you people are just all ass. You know, I mean, that picture is pretty embarrassing, but at least there was that big pupik, you know, and the hair and the whole deal. Some of these people out there in Radioland are all ass.
Rectum.
You ever see a walking ass?
Just this morning.
Anyway, the reason I played that, Nick says, I listened to Don Imus this morning on 940. It was my first time listening to him on the radio. Wow, that guy is unintelligible. He talks like he's got a mouthful of elephant droppings. By the way, the Bradley effect is the biggest pile of Schmidt theory ever, only perpetuated by the talking heads because, after all, they need something to talk about. Finally, a question for you. Could I have emailed you 10 years ago? 10 years ago, could I have gotten to him? Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what he's talking about. See, very subtle, but he knows I'm sharp enough still at this advanced stage to get his subtle jab there. Virgil Saluzzo. Could I have gotten to him 10 years ago? Well, it's over. Your Don is dead. Don't be scared, Tom. Oh, here's one that says, holy crap, you look like the Jew Hamburglar with stretch marks. It's a good thing you lost all that weight. Now you look like an Adonis. Yeah, by comparison. Is this the reason George smoked so much to erase this traumatic memory? I didn't know George then, although I guess when you started I was that fat.
Yep.
Keep up the good work and the weight off. P.S. Why do you need 3 with annoying Pompano Park waitress voice? What does that mean? Why do you need 3 for? Does that mean 3 people on the show? Why don't you speak English? No speaking English. No speaking English. You know, that's the sad part of it is that even the people who can speak English, they can't communicate.
Right.
Why do you need 3? Does he mean 3 people on the show?
I don't know.
That's because we need Fat Chris in there to run the spots. You know who probably is asking that is Greg Reed. Remember they used to come around and look.
Oh yeah, we had to explain things. Yeah, they have a crew of 5 for every other show. But why do you people need a?
Yeah, why do you need 3 people to do this show?
When, we didn't until you went to Toronto.
Right.
You have no idea what's going on in here, and when somebody's unavailable.
What does that mean?
Somebody needs to be paying attention to you and stay on mic all the time, and somebody else needs to be paying attention to all the nuts and bolts and minutia and the people coming in the door, changing spots all around and everything.
Really?
We tried it for a week. It didn't work.
What spots?
Oh, yeah. Well, in those days we used to have some. The recorded ones, the ones that have nothing to do with you.
637 votes on Fat Chris's poll. He's pretty pumped about that.
Super.
Super duper. Daniel says, did you notice how pissed off Keith Olbermann was last night about McShane? Yes, I did. I saw it. He was great. Another one of his special comments. I don't know why he calls it special comments. As if to, like, separate that from the rest of the show is like, this is a Keith Olbermann editorial, as if the whole show isn't. It is. And I love it. And will Letterman rip his ass Thursday or suck up to him? Actually, it's a typo. He says, will Letterman ripe his ass Thursday?
Maybe they meant rape.
I would imagine McShane at his advanced stage his ass is probably pretty ripe already. I don't know and I don't care because I don't watch Letterman. I don't care. If that's what the election is all about, who's going to get ripped on Letterman and ba-da-ba-ba. You know, it's sad. Very sad. It's enough to make you cry. Like that old Jew in wherever the hell she was in, Deerfield, Delray. Oh, he's not the same color. I'm not comfortable with him. He's not the same color. Mo said, this is from Mo, the real Mo. The imitation Mo, the fake Mo. I'm very upset with you, Mr. Rogers. You continue to slander my good name after being repeatedly told not to do so. My toupee and I are now going to sue you. You'll be receiving a subpoena in the mail any day now. You are a very bad man, as I can see from the new picture on the website. You are very fat and hairy as well. I almost threw up Geldy's balls when I saw that picture. Stop making fun of me or I'm going to kill you, a chicken neck. Ow! A little hostile today, Mo. I bet you he is listening. Now, what did we discover that he's doing these days?
I didn't.
No, Chris.
I don't remember.
He was doing some games.
Was he doing games?
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he's doing some of the college ones like he was doing last year.
No, not college. NFL. Hey, a guy of his stature don't lower himself to do college football. We leave that to the amateurs like Brent Mausberger and Keith Jackson. They can do the college games. And that guy that everybody just hates. What the hell's his name?
I don't know what's his name.
No, not Kirk Jerkstreet. That's he don't do games.
He does games.
He does play-by-play?
Oh, no, color guy. The play-by-play that people don't like?
Yeah. The guy that hates UM and hates the Dolphins, and Jim Nance. Right?
I guess. He says everybody thinks he hates everybody, so.
He's just awful. He's like vanilla ice cream, man. He's like plain, unflavored yogurt. Holly says, I just tuned in, so I don't know if you mentioned this, but did you see Keith Olbermann go off on John McCain on Countdown last night? Yes, I did. It was a thing of beauty. Neil, if you are God, then Keith is Jesus. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Holly. I wonder if Holly saw that picture yet on the poll. Evidently, it's not. I'm just shocked. I thought once we put that picture on there that people would, oh, here's one from Crystal. Crystal Rodriguez. Oh. Neil, how are you? Haven't talked to you in a long time. Want to start thanking you for keeping my deadbeat husband employed. And also, thanks to you, I can sleep with a pool man, mailman, gardener, plumber, painter, etc. all day long because small penis George is at work.
Aha.
I need you to do me a favor, Neil. Please tell my husband to lose some weight and grow some balls. He's becoming very fat, is turning gay with all his roller skating. Please, Neil, I can't stand this spick bastard anymore. If he doesn't grow up here, I'm just going to kill myself and him too. Signed, Crystal.
You know, that would be almost perfectly accurate, except we don't have a pool, so that's how you know it's not her.
Oh.
No, almost had it. It was almost perfect.
Well, I mean, do you think that any of these emails are legit? That's not a requirement. If you want to email us, just write a bunch of crap. The fake human being, you know, at Neil@neilrogers.com. That was down 360. 360. Wow. New polls released at noon, the key swing states. I'll keep my fly on that. There's Bill Schneider on there pontificating.
In the state of Georgia, which ought to be a reliable Republican state. So those 5 states, we'll have the numbers for you a little over an hour from now.
Well, thank God for that. Don't let me forget to keep glued to that. As if I'm going to change the channel, right? Not that I want to watch this swill, but... Tim says, very funny photo. Kudos for having a sense of humor by posting it. Yeah, I wonder how many of you people would have, if you were in my shoes, if you would have posted that.
Not me. I'd have burned that picture.
Right. And didn't I tell you? I said, have Eric put it on there? I can laugh at myself. It's a disgusting, grotesque picture, man. Anybody who lets himself get into that kind of shape, Chris, is shameful, disgraceful. And you know something? When I see really, really fat people, I think to myself, how could anybody let himself or herself get that grotesque? And now I look at that picture and I'm thinking, look who's talking. Look who's talking, fat boy. Well, there's another one. I was talking about former fat people in the building.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Fat boy. Wow. Got loser written all over that gigantic ass of his. Anyway, Tim says, by the way, it loads a little slowly. It's probably a little too high resolution. Maybe Eric ought to repost at a lower resolution. It loads slowly? Must be your computer, Tim.
Not for those of us who have, real internet service.
Real internet and real PCs. Try Serrano ham, Tim says. Not the sweet, but the regular. It's very good. Get it at a deli. They have ham in Toronto, I know. Yeah, this is a hog town. That's the nickname for this city, Hog Town. I don't know why that is. Do you know why that is?
Nope.
Mike in Boca says the only comment I would have is, who took it and why? Please leave it as a reminder to all of us who struggle with our weight/appearance. Okay, we're leaving it up there forever. He wants to know who took it and...
Why?
I already told you. Now, Kenny Gramer, the former IOD, what did he do there?
He was a production assistant for the most part. I think he ran some board also.
He says, hi, Neil, it's your Buddy Nevins. I love the pic you just posted on your website. It reminds me of the good old days. I included my Facebook page in case you're interested. Can I make you my friend? You're my friend. So Kenny Gramer is sending us the Buddy Nevins stuff from Facebook. And guess who one of Buddy's friends is?
I give up.
You.
Okay.
Why are you on Buddy Nevins' Facebook page?
I'm on Buddy Nevins' Facebook page.
Mm-hmm. It's that picture of you and that chick, and you got your, that look on your face, your cheek to cheek.
Then it's not me. I mean, he put a picture on there.
Oh, shame on you, Kenny. And then there's a bunch of other people that nobody ever heard of on here. Like 6 other people.
See, those of us like you who have our pictures on the internet, right-click save. Anybody can save a picture of us and put it anywhere?
Well, I see.
Photoshop.
Well, your picture is much bigger. It's like 3 times as big as any of the other ones on there. I didn't know you and Buddy were that close.
Yeah,
and this picture of Buddy, by the way,
he's
looks
my
really
buddy.
gay. Oh, Buddy.
He's my nutty buddy.
Is he really?
Oh, yeah.
He needs some help. He's got some real issues, you know what I mean? But then again, don't we all? you got some issues, get you some Kleenex. Issues and tissues, baby. Dow is down 337. It's under 9,000. Wow. And look how many votes we got on the poll. 666.
Oh, my God.
Wow. Woo. Heavy duty. Oh, Tracy's got a poll. Your talk of Ray Milland gave me a new poll idea. I feel old when a longtime celebrity gets old or dies. I remember when gas was under $1 a gallon. Talking about my favorite old movies, music, TV, etc. I talk to young people. I feel old when. What do you think?
I think that's an excellent poll. We've never done that before. It's something that we can have fun building, etc. You go,
That's Tracy
girl.
and Kendall. P.S. Ray Milland was great in Hitchcock's Dial M for Murder. That's correct.
By the way, I'll be calling you soon, Tracy.
For what? Really?
For a while.
Wow.
For some business.
Before or after you called Buddy Nevins?
The biggest names.
The best talent.
This is Neil Rogers.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The sports leader.
The biggest names, the best talent. You're listening to Sports Radio 560 WQAM. Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
This is the Neil Rogers Show.
You fairy.
This is your brain. Any questions?
Slow the limo down, you're driving too fast. It's just a roach and I'm down to my last. But I'm spreading out and getting mellow. Do-do-do-do, token a doobie. With all those sirens around, it's hard to sleep. Are those forsaken cops after me? What could they want from this old yiddy? I'm just sitting here, token a doobie. But deploy from the vehicle. You know who I am? I'm a godfather. You're aware of everything. They come into the shower.
It's 11:01 at 560 WQAM. Happy Wednesday, too. I'm really bitterly disappointed. You believe me?
No.
That we don't have 85 million responses, emails on there about that picture?
They'll come around. You'll see.
No,
There'll be
won't.
this like delayed effect.
What?
As people, show up and start voting and see the picture.
Oh, and by the way, speaking of that, I just emailed, tell Eric if he's in the window, to Schmidtcan, that poll about do you consider yourself racist, etc. Forget about that. That's an oldie but baddie. And I faxed him the one from Tracy. And I added a couple of choices on there. I feel old when I look in the mirror, or I'm asked if I'm a senior citizen. You know, when I go to Mickey D's to get my anus burger with the bacon and cheddar, there's this one nasty little old bitch. She works there. And she always says, oh, how about this? I'll say, give me a anus burger with bacon and cheddar and a small Diet Coke. Oh, I'll give you the senior Diet Coke. It's cheaper.
You're kidding?
No, I'm not kidding. The senior Diet Coke. For senior citizens. It's a bargain, Sonny.
That's right. All you old people, you live for a bargain, don't you?
No. Especially at Mickey D's. I feel like saying to her, if I was looking for bargains, would I be coming, if I was that short of cash, would I be
to a
coming here?
high-priced restaurant like McDonald's?
Right. Lisa says, will you calm down now?
No.
Since Crystal sent that caustic email.
Yeah.
About screwing the mailman and the pool man.
Uh-huh. Somebody else's pool man, I'm sure.
Well, there you go.
Pool next door.
What's wrong with that? No items in this view. Neil at neilrogers.com on the emails. Boy, that's heartbreaking is what it is. Just heartbreaking. I blocked about a half a dozen nudniks on there, and now that leaves nothing else. Which, believe me, I have no regrets about blocking those idiots. And we had enough of that on the phone, but now also on the email. And then Mr. Radio got back in there again. How the hell did he do that? You're the one that told me about the blocking thing.
He might have sent it from a different place, so it's a different URL or something like that. And
desperate.
By the way, is that the same email or just the same name? Because they're two different things. You can have
same
the same
email address.
Okay. He might be a computer guy.
610. 6-10. Probably Ken Charles. He's got nothing else going on over there. He's got Jimmy Syphilis on in the morning. What a disgrace. What an absolute disgrace. Lisa says, love your show. All this hype about Acorn is just the Republicans trying to whip the public into a frenzy before Election Day. Oh, yeah, they registered the same guy 73 times. Yeah, who cares? Register him out 7,000 times. If that's what it takes to counteract the fixed voting machines, that's what we got to do. They're trying to discredit the voter registration submitted by Acorn because of their lack of ability to get new Republicans registered. As we all know, when you show up at the poll, you have to show ID, so where's the fraud? That's right. We're not talking about fraudulent votes. We're talking about the fraudulent registrars, whatever. My husband has been recruited by the Democratic Party to be a poll monitor on Election Day. One of the requirements to be a monitor is to be a lawyer, but he's also white and Jewish.
Oi!
He's ready to volunteer all Election Day as part of his civic duty. Also, he's participating in a mandatory training session to review newly enacted Florida laws to make sure everyone is treated fairly. Go Obama, says Lisa. Nice going, Lisa. And that's pretty much it for the emails, I think. I got a pile of... Oh, no. Oh, my God. Here's a lengthy thing about the National Organization for Women has endorsed the Obama-Biden ticket, and they usually never endorse anybody, but yada, yada, yada. Oh, there's a few of them here. Don't panic now. Might actually have to take some calls like yesterday. I hope not. What do you think? They weren't that bad yesterday. They're all right. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes.
I don't know if you visited the MSNBC website, but they're saying that Cheney is being rushed to the hospital for an abnormal heart condition.
For lack of a heart?
You got it. Wouldn't it be incredible if he croaks before the election?
Well, you know, the interesting part of it is I'm on MSNBC right now, and they got some chick on there talking about tonight's debate.
Well, if he has a condition, they might...
Let me say it again. Wouldn't you think if it was on the MSNBC website that they'd be talking about on MSNBC?
I just saw it like a minute ago.
Yeah, well, good luck to you. You believe that?
No.
Let me go to the website. Let me go to MSNBC's. I don't believe for a second there's any chance they'd be all over this. No, there's nothing on there. Oh, yeah, here it is. I apologize profusely. Vice President Cheney experiences abnormal heart rhythm, plans to visit the hospital. This is not a big like the end of the world. Doctors found recurrence of abnormal rhythm, the White House says. That he was doing a little tap dance. They said, boy, that's an abnormal rhythm, Dick. Wouldn't you think he'd have abnormal anything? He'll receive an outpatient procedure later today to restore his normal heart rhythm after doctors found a recurrence of arterial fibrillation. A big deal, okay? Put that kid on a banana boat and send him back where he came from. Send it back to Raul. Get out of here.
Oh, I saw it on the MSNBC website. Cheney was rushed to the hospital if he's going to die. But
yeah. We'll let you know if he croaks, okay? Punk. WQAM, hello.
I'm your friend.
Let's see. Here's one from Jeremy. It says, I feel like I'm breathing fresh air up in Montreal after escaping Fort Lauderdale and later Baltimore. And after serving my 4 years in the Air Force, it's a joy on earth up here in Montreal, especially compared to worse than the Baltimore City. Especially compared to my parents who've lost their house and stuff in dreadful Myrtle Beach, South. What is that? Carolina. It says Kakalaka. Anyone who wants to live like a free person again should head up 87 from, nobody from Jersey, though, please. And then it says Palin secretly hides commies. Cute, Jeremy. Trying too hard to be funny and writing a bunch of stupid stuff. Obama opens up a 14-point lead on McCain in the CBS poll.
Oh!
And they found no heart in Dick Cheney.
Oh, they just said on the MSNBC website that Cheney is being rushed to the hospital and little pigeons are farting on his face.
God. What was I saying to you before the show today about morons?
Yeah, that they suck.
The world has an epidemic, and they have moronitis. So many morons, so little time. Oh, Chris Whalen. Oh, good. I love the ones from Chris. Oh, woo! Now, he was tapping this out when you weren't paying any attention, I guess. I'm going to read it on the air, Fatso.
You're not allowed to.
But I will.
Don't read it. What'd I say?
I will. 705 votes on your poll while I'm printing that email from you out. 709. What did I say? We're going to get 800? I say 900. That's because we got a whole batch of new people on there now that we have that picture of me, the naked picture from 100 years ago, right under the poll. 709. What is your recreational drug of choice? By the way, is Eric going to put that poll on there from Tracy? Yeah, I feel old when. Nice going, Eric. He is the best. Ain't he?
Yep.
Usually. Recreational drug of choice is booze, of course, 383. Alcohol. Marijuana, 197. I don't do drugs, 61. Yeah, we believe you. I don't, but I should start. What would you suggest? Well, I know what you'd suggest.
Yeah.
Of course, here. I walked out yesterday. I walked outside, and the pungent aroma of wacky weed was in the air.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Just, outside. I don't do drugs, 61. Other, prescription designer, etc., 31. Cocaine, 16. Acid, 9. Heroin, 7. Ecstasy, 7. And crystal meth, 1. 712 vote. As Chris decides whether he wants to stay on the show or he wants to do ball games on the weekend.
Say what?
You heard what I said.
That's no choice.
Where's that email from? Well, I'll do it right after the break. Very hostile email. Now, see, this is good stuff. This is the kind of stuff that we want badly. We don't care that it's real or fake or whatever. Just like that thing from Buddy Nevins and Kenny Kramer. Kenny's obsessed. And I don't even know who he was. Did I ever meet him?
I'm sure you did.
Did I know him?
Reddish blonde. He had a lot of hair in those days. I don't know what it looks like these days.
Reddish?
It's like, like a blonde leaning towards red, like a strawberry blonde, I guess.
Oh.
Really wavy, really. He had it in a ponytail all the time, but it was really thick and
I
wavy.
never heard of such a person.
Yeah, really pasty, really spotty.
Oh, pasty?
Yeah.
He wore
freckly,
pasties?
like a ginger.
Oh, no. No wonder I've been trying to forget him.
Nice guy.
He could be a great guy. I just don't want to see him. I don't want to see him. I'd rather see that picture of me in those boxer shorts. Let's see. Here's Colorado. Obama 48, McCain 43. It's getting to the point where he's going to be heading almost every state. Like when George McGovern, I think, won 2 states. I think he won Massachusetts and maybe the District of Columbia. There have been some real... And the same in 64 with LBJ and Goldwater. Could be a gland slide. Tonight's the last debate, thank God. And McShane promises he's going to bring up William Ayers tonight. Boy, that'll blow up right in his face. Can you imagine?
Oh, please do. Yeah.
Yeah. Week after week, more and more people are taking advantage of Neil's half-price deal. Starting tomorrow at noon, you can buy $100 certificates for just $50 to Jake's Bar and Grill on Red Road, just east of US 1. Jake's is known as a watering hole for grown-ups, and that it certainly is. However, Jake's has also become a favorite in Coral Gables and South Miami for their sensational food, like their macadamia-crusted mahi, whole deboned yellowtail, or their snapper. Meat lovers feast on their famous steaks and ribs. Right now, Jake's has got their steak special every Thursday night with your choice of a 16-ounce New York strip, an 8-ounce tenderloin, or a 16-ounce bone-in ribeye, all just $18, and you also get to choose the accompaniment and 2 sides. Plus half-price wine on Wednesdays like today, and Sunday night it's authentic Memphis barbecue, and the kids get to eat for free. Jake's Bar and Grill, 6901 Red Road, that's 57th Ave. Call for reservations, 305-662-8632. And get ready to buy $100 certificates at half price, just $50 tomorrow at noon on WQAM.com.
The biggest names.
The best talent.
This is Neil Rogers.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The sports leader.
The biggest names.
The best talent.
It's the DA Show.
Weeknights from 8 to 11.
Oh, my God. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The sports leader.
It's a lie. I am not a Nazi.
I went to the sausage party. I was invited by the priest. He said, come with me, I have some friends to see back in the rectory. When we got to the sausage party, there were some other priests in the buff. Then he dropped his pants and said, be a good lad, your face I wanna stuff. And I realize now I didn't do very well. You see, 'cause The priest couldn't get off, so he had to please himself.
I don't know where that one's going, but I think we better stop it in midstream.
You want to see where it ends?
No. I know where it ends. And George, he's chuckling, but wait till he finds out I'm going to read the email on the air that he just sent me.
That I just sent you?
Well, fake George.
Can't wait.
Neil, before I read Chris's, Chris is really becoming a bastard to work with. I think he has stopped bathing altogether. He smells like a taco mixed with turd and old cheese. I saw him sneaking a salami in here the other day, the size of your ass. I think we should do a fundraiser on the site to pay for a liposuction for the fat slob of a man. God, I hope this fat bastard gets canned sometime soon. Take a bath, you fat pile of Schmidt. Signed, George.
Now I know how you really feel.
Yeah.
Oh.
See, notice that nervous laugh?
Yep. Busted.
But here's the one from Chris. I really enjoy these the most.
Mm-hmm.
Neil, I really wish you'd stop calling me fat on the air. I'm really trying to lose weight, and by getting called a fat tub of crap at my job every day doesn't help my situation. I didn't want to tell you this, but I'm secretly trying to get off your show. I'm working extra hours on the weekend, so Clarence will give me a day off during the week. I don't know how much more of this I can take. Yesterday I drove by Taco Bell. I couldn't help myself. I ordered 6 of the new Volcano tacos, which are great, by the way, 3 grilled stuffed burritos, 4 chalupas, a nachos with cheese, and a Diet Coke. I cannot help myself. But at least it wasn't a senior Diet Coke. Please stop calling me fat, Neil. I cry myself to sleep every night, although sometimes I beat my... Oh, I can't read that. Something about his fat baloney while looking at that picture in my underwear. Thanks, Neil. I love you. Signed, Chris. Wow. Here's one from Matt. Now they're starting to trickle in the emails like yesterday. They're spastic, like the audience, like the public. They're spastic. How's the Dow doing? Down 333. Oh, not so bad. Not good. Down 333. How about the Canuck election yesterday? How'd that Stephen freaking Harper and that frog, no speak English, Stéphane Dion? What did I tell you about him? Well, the Liberals here keep running the worst candidates, and then it's like, oh, gee, I can't understand why we lost. No speak English. No speaky English. You'd get the biggest kick out of that convenience store across the street.
I'll bet.
The Chinese market. It's not really a Chinese market, but it's a Chinese couple that run it. No speaky English. Oh, my God. I told you the thing about the heavenly hash.
Yes.
And unfortunately, they found it. Matt says, you look like Barney Fagg's twin sister in that pic. Nice boobies. By the way, while working in the film industry in L.A. about 15 years ago, we shot in the church where that window is, the picture below you. Now, what's the picture below me?
The stained glass.
Yeah. The fake church?
Yeah.
I took a Polaroid of it, meant to send it to you, but never got around to it. Glad you finally saw it. Right. Rip me if you want, but I think Rachel Maddow is kind of cute. Go Obama, it says. Yeah, Rachel Maddow. For a guy, yeah. No, actually, for a guy, she's ugly, too. She is pasty and plain Jane. She is the stereotypical plain Jane Dyke. Now, here's a cute one that George would... Maybe this is a little lesson for you. A Treasure Coast man is arrested for allegedly trying to pay for his McDonald's meal with green, as in marijuana, not greenbacks.
Yeah, I heard that story.
You did?
Yeah.
Police say Sean Panula went through a Vero Beach Mickey D's drive-thru and tried to pay for his meal with pot. The cashier called 911, and shortly after, a deputy pulled the car over. Deputy says he found marijuana in the car and arrested Panulo. No word on what he ordered, or if he ended up buying the meal using something other than pot. Well, we want to know. This is from Channel 12 in West Palm Beach. No word on what he ordered, or if he ended up paying with something other than pot. Great South Florida story from the newsroom at Channel 12. By the way, somebody said Jennifer Ram hasn't been in the market for 2 or 3 years. She's long gone. From Channel 12. So we got some misinformation on that yesterday. Dick Cheney's got a heart procedure. WQAM, hello.
I'm your friend. I'm out there peeling a hockey stick.
Oh, another one from Matt. Oh, I read that one already. Sorry, Matt. I thought Matt was getting chronic. Something about the Barney Fagg's boobies. Tom says, remember yesterday Tom was bugging me and I ripped him an ass, but it doesn't make any difference.
Nope.
He was bugging me. He couldn't listen online. He couldn't vote on the poll. Remember that?
Yep.
Neil, I still cannot vote or listen to you on your site. I was able to up until about 3 months ago. It says it's your webmaster, not me, George.
What do you mean it says? He's using AOL.
Well, if he's using AOL, good luck to him.
Exactly.
As for the picture of you in your drawers, no comment. If you can't say something nice, keep a big mouth shut, right? No, that's boring, Tom. No, just keep bugging us about the you can't do this and you can't do that. That's interesting. That's captivating. Captivating radio. Like Paulie does, you know, Paulie and Ancient Ron. 739 votes on Fat Chris's poll. I'm sorry. Oh, and here's somebody with an attachment. I don't have time for those. I'm just telling you right now. Those people that keep sending me attachments, I don't have time unless they're from George or somebody I know. Love them Philadelphia Flyers. They lost again last night. I think Clark needs to retire to Boca. Retire. Yeah, who cares? Joe Z, the fake Joe Z says, oh my God, Neil, please take down that hideous picture of you on the website. You know the movie Ghost? Well, you look like that dead guy in the subway that teaches Patrick Swayze how to physically move things while being a ghost. Let me know when it's gone. I'll return to the site. Bye-bye, Joe Z. Tim says, did you shoot the friend that shot the photo? I have an aversion to full-length mirrors. I don't know if I would have my overhang had I seen it coming. Congrats on losing the weight. Good luck with the Atkins regimen, says Tim in Miami. Losing what weight?
Well, you lost some, then you found some new weight.
Well, yeah, and then I found some of it a little bit back. Like I'm looking for congratulations on losing weight, 20 years ago. Now, actually, when I discovered the Atkins, that's when I lost what? I don't know, a whole bunch of weight.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And then we tried that that the Nutrisystem. Tried them all, man. Tried them all. I like food. I like to eat. And I'm a slob, you know. Like Paco says, I look like homeless.
Oh, like he would.
Like he would be, yeah.
Yeah, if not for.
Are you knocking again? Can you ever stop?
No.
Can you ever stop?
What?
Your vicious anti-Mexican tirade.
Has nothing to do with Mexicans. Has to do with.
I know.
Yeah.
Has to do with what?
Bums.
Chris, that was a real email from George, by the way.
Oh, was it?
It's true.
I'll make sure I go in there and beat him up in the break.
Dow is down almost 400 points. Oh, and it's not even close to noon yet. Boy, it's going to be a long day. Don't let me forget when it gets to noon, CNN's going to breathlessly give us those new polls in those heavy-duty states, the battleground states. You going to be on the edge of your seat?
Oh, yeah.
I would imagine that everybody in town is calling up, but not to look at that picture. I don't think they even get it. There should be a caption on it.
That's what I told you. We need a caption contest.
Oh, here we go. Cheney's
Coke at the White House. So, Kathleen, my understanding is the vice president will undergo an outpatient procedure later today.
Yes, he will, Tony. This is very similar to something that he underwent roughly about a year ago. It was November 26th of 2007. Basically, what happened is the vice president came to work this morning. Now, we did notice he was not present at the cabinet meeting. We do have a photo here
his ass in the cabinet.
Him at yesterday's working group on financial markets, where he was seated next to the president. But according to the vice president's spokesman, Megan Mitchell, the vice president came to work this morning at his usual time, 7:30. She didn't say whether or not he didn't feel well.
Well, now what kind of delivery is that?
Doctors were called to examine him at his office, and they found that he was having the same problem he had in November of last year. Basically.
Yeah, well, Chum and Drerid, how do you like that? Maybe he'll croak before the day is out. We can have some good news. 11:26 at QM. George is cracking his knuckles again. I heard it.
Yep.
The best deals on the most comfortable mattresses on earth are just a phone call away, like they have been for a long time when you call 1-800-MATTRESS. Even in these tough times, you can afford just 13 cents a night to get a great night's sleep. I'm sure of that. 1-800-MATTRESS has got a new Sealy model with memory foam and set start at just 13 cents a night. Choose firm, plush, or pillow top, all at the same low price. 1-800-MATTRESS is South Florida's largest Sealy dealer with same-day delivery. 1-800-MATTRESS has got no stores, which means lower overhead so they can pass gigantic savings on to you. Delivery whenever you choose, whenever it's convenient for you, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., weekends, holidays, even the same day you call. Call by kickoff, get your mattress by the post-game show. All with the famous 1-800-Mattress 30-day in-home comfort trial. Think about it, a great Sealy mattress with memory foam delivered whenever you want, starting at just 13 cents a night. Just do what I've been doing for a long, long time, and what everybody at QM is doing too now. Call 1-800-Mattress today. The one and only dollar mattress, to go to the allnewmattress.com. Just call 1-800-MATTRES. Leave off that last S, stands for sensational, stupendous savings.
The biggest names.
The best talent.
This is Neil Rogers.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The sports leader.
Holy Mackinac! This is Joe Bowen, the voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you're listening to the Hockey Authority, Neil God.
All right, good having you here.
Oh, I thank you for that warm welcome.
Here we go. The Royal Report is the official e-newsletter of this hockey team.
I love those hockey moms. You know, they say the difference between a hockey mom and a pit bull? Lipstick.
Oh, no. Okay, let's get back into this. The Republican Party reunited when the Bull Moose Party evaporated after nominating this man as president.
Senator John McCain.
No, sorry. All right, you lost a bit there. You're still in contention. Before reaching the Oval Office, this bachelor president served as minister to Russia in the 1830s.
They're our next-door neighbors, and you can actually see Russia from land here in Alaska.
That is wrong. We may need to check for brain activity.
You know, this Mr. Radio, of all the people that have emailed on here, and that includes a lot of real idiots, morons, pains in the ass, yentas, this is the worst. Now, did you just forward that thing to me?
Yep. Why is he bothering me?
Why did you do that?
Oh, other people, and this goes for the phones and everything like that, since I sat down to do the show, other people want me to bother you on their behalf.
Well, don't do it.
Exactly.
From George Rodriguez by way of Mr. Radio.
Yeah.
And what is that new, oh, I see, mail to Mr. Radio 610 at hotmail.com. Subject, Jim Schuyler. Hi, George. I don't want to bother Neil as he's annoyed by my emails. And so is George. He don't want to smell you. He don't want to know from you. He don't want to know that you're alive, whatever kind of slimeball you are. Can you ask Neil to explain how he came to know Jim Schuyler? Did you ever work at WYNZ or WYOD? He was great. Don't ask. I won't tell. As if I remember. And who would care anyway? See, the whole purpose of the show is to inform and entertain Mr. Radio with radio trivia that nobody could give a crap less about, including us. I'm getting choked up again over it. Just like yesterday. Now, David in Miami Shores sends me this. I don't know if you've seen this website. Yes, I have, David. Electoral-vote.com. It's updated as new polls are released. It shows Obama with a huge lead. The biggest surprise is that today it's even showing North Dakota now leaning toward Obama. Can you believe that? North Dakota?
I believe it.
It's been a solid red for months. Only 3 electoral votes, but if the North Dakotans are willing to vote for a black man, they must really distrust McCain. And so I clicked on the link and I got the latest and the greatest today. And as it stands right now, Obama is leading or a lock in states with 357 electoral votes, McCain 181. Almost double, almost 2-1. The states barely Democratic, Nevada, Florida, North Carolina, Virginia, Ohio, Indiana, and North Dakota. Indiana! How do you like that?
Mm-hmm.
Barely Democratic, but nevertheless shocking. Virginia, North Carolina. Strong Democratic. Look at all the ones. Hawaii.
Yeah.
Washington. Oregon. California. Although, wait a minute. See, I didn't do this right because it's shaded. It's red and blue. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have a color printer. So I'd have to go back to the thing. I don't want to misread. Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois, Iowa, strong Democratic. Basically, McCain is only heading like the cracker states. And didn't Bill, what's his name, on CNN a little while ago, didn't he, Schneider, say that even Georgia now is like Weak GOP. Georgia.
I missed that. That's good to know.
Georgia. Now, what the hell is all this? Oh, this is more crap from that same page again. Thanks a lot, whoever sent that. I wanted to print out that one page, and, of course, knowing me, printed out 800 pages. Oh. Wasted my fax paper bad. 769 votes on Fat Chris's poll. And quit calling him Fat Chris. He really hates you like poison now.
No.
After I outed you with that caustic email you sent. Neil at neilrogers.com, by the way, in the email. There's plenty of vacancy in the inn. As in there's nothing on there now. I hate that. Don't you hate that when you click on the inbox and there's no items in this view?
It's like, nobody loves me.
Yeah. Or no, like they got nothing to say. Like that's a real shock.
Oh, yeah. That's
and especially after putting that picture, after taking my life into my own hands and humiliating and degrading myself just for the entertainment value of the audience for a chuckle or two, you know.
Right. That's right up there with the, telling the pants stories, the poopy pants.
That's right. Even beyond that. Because this is a visual. And in spite of that, what I get, like 5 or 6 people with a comment about that? And probably because most of them look like that. Most of them are fat. I wonder how many people in the audience would be willing to send a picture of themselves in their shorts with a huge pupik sticking out, huh?
I would not.
I bet you Chris Whalen wouldn't.
No.
Because he's a whale of a guy. Is that how you got your name?
No.
You sure now?
Yeah.
770 on the poll. 77. Cousin Brucey is on Sirius. That's what Mr. Radio says. So help me God, if Mr. Radio sends one more email, I'm going to explode right on the air. See, I'm getting my phlegm back again. I was doing good. I sounded great.
Relapse. It's all his
for
fault.
An hour and a half. Now I'm having another phlegm relapse from Mr. Radio. I know Neil doesn't want to be bothered. Then why don't you go away, you jackass? It's got to be Fat Boy.
I believe so.
Yeah. It's got to be him or maybe his boyfriend.
610.
Yeah. Is he over there?
No, I don't know. But makes sense. He used to.
Where did he surface? Where did he land and bounce when he left here the last time?
Didn't he go to Waxy where all the other people go? I don't know.
He did?
I don't know.
I thought he went to Cheap Channel again.
Maybe
Ask P.D. Lenny. He'll tell you.
That's right.
That cigar store engine, P.D. Lenny. What is your recreational drug of choice? 770 votes. Don't forget, Bill Schneider's going to give us the newest poll. Battleground states at noon. Alcohol, 411. Marijuana, 208. I don't do drugs, 73. Other, prescription, designer, etc., 35. Cocaine, 18. Acid, 9. Heroin, 8. Ecstasy, 7. And crystal meth, solamente uno.
The biggest names.
The best talent.
This is Neil Rogers.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The sports leader. The biggest names. The best talent.
It's the Mad Dog, Jim Mandich.
Wildcat continues to deliver big plays for the Dolphin offense. This isn't a gimmick. This is as much a part of the Miami Dolphin offense right now as trips, as 4 wides, as 2 tight end and 3 tight end goal line formation. It's as much a part of the Dolphin offense as shotgun formation. And why not?
This is
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The sports leader. The biggest names. The best talent.
Yes.
It's the big dog, Joe Rose. Weekday morning, 7 to 10. Where South Florida sports always matters. Sports Radio 560 QAM. The sports leader.
I killed Nicole.
Lord, I'm a Sarah Palin man. She's a hockey mama hottie who's tougher than Joe Biden. When it was time for choosing, Big Mac made a stand. He's a Sarah Palin man.
You fairy.
She was Maryland governor up in Alaska. She can cast a fishing rod and handle a gun. Any woman who can have 5 kids and still look the way she does will have Al-Qaeda on the run.
Okay, now let me stop that right there. Let me re-cue it, because all of a sudden I'm going to Joyce.
Oh, really now?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I told you about all those cough drops I ate with sorbitol last night, those sugar-free.
Throw the bit back on. I'll come on after it.
No, you won't. It's 1:52. It's almost 2 minutes now. Do you really believe that I can't go in there and do justice?
Okay. I didn't know.
Rectum.
All right.
Huh?
I'll start the timer.
1:52. Start the egg timer. See ya.
Lord, I'm a Sarah Palin man. She's a hockey mama hottie who's tougher than Joe Biden. When it was time for choosing, Big Mac made a stand. He's a Sarah Palin man. She was mayor then governor up in Alaska. She can cast a fishing rod and handle a gun. Any woman who can have 5 kids and still look the way she does will have Al-Qaeda on the run. Lord, I'm a Sarah Palin man. She fills out a suit better than Barack Obama can. Don't need a teleprompter to talk about her plan. You fairy. Be a Sarah Palin man.
That was fast.
It sure was.
Lord, I'm a Sarah Palin man. She's a real tough cookie. Go ahead and ask her fans. So when it's time for voting, bless her with your hand. Be a Sarah Palin man. Lord, I'm a Sarah Palin man.
Okay, now what does this say? Here's somebody who thinks they know Mr. Radio. I think
Okay.
Mr. Radio could be Henry the Barrel and Jimmy C. They're in partnership of an overpriced... Oh, Henry Barrow. Oh, Henry the Barrel. That's cute. Of an overpriced wine store in the Grove and probably have nothing else to do, says Jim. Good guess. Oh, here's Zisco. Got a cause to comment about that lovely picture. You should change the X-beaded curtain to the soiled curtain and have listeners send in pictures like yours. You're looking buff, by the way. That was 20 years ago, Zisco, Z-Man. Caption idea. You mean Breyer's Carb Smart comes in a gallon tub, too? That might be something to consider, says Zisco. I don't think so. Do you want to consider that? No.
No.
But at least they took the time to throw some crap on there on our thing. Speaking of crap. There she is.
We must do this because the federal government is in a hole. What do you do if you're in a hole and you don't want to be there? The first thing you do is stop digging.
The first thing you do is wink and blink and nod. Winking, blinking, and nodding. Oh, my God. Jim says, last week I sent you an email about the Bush Palin pictures on your site, preventing me from reading bedtime stories. Now there's this picture of you right under the poll. Not trying to be chronic, but yikes, says Jim. Yikes. How do you like that?
I don't want to vote for that guy. He's a Schwarzer. He's not the same color as me.
Todd says, I moved from South Florida to Atlanta almost 3 years ago. I missed 2 things from Florida, Cuban food and your show. That's it. They can keep the rest. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Todd. Where did he move to? Oh, to Atlanta. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Dark says about the picture, I love it. Fake Johnny Dark. See, now, that's the interesting part of it is, how would we ever know if any of these... Oh, and that's another thing.
What's that?
That's really bitterly disappointing. Because you know me, I always have high expectations.
Yeah.
Unrealistically high expectations. Because when we did the email thing and we started, I thought, well, maybe I'm going to hear from some of the listeners from the past, like from back in the Zeta days, some of the guys used to hang around the station, and some of those people.
Right.
Some of the people actually became like characters on the show. And you know what? Probably most of them got smart and they moved away. Hopefully. For them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Lost track. Toulouse Laudrex. Now, what do we say was our goal? We said 800, but now we got to go for 900 because we got 800 almost.
Yeah, we can do that. We need less than a vote a minute.
We can do what?
We can do 9. Why don't we go for 950?
Oh, that was a mishit, a misfire. What?
Why don't we go for 950?
Why don't you go for a big dump?
All right, I'll see you later.
I need some good expectorant. I wonder if that Bentley's will do it. I told you about Bentley's. I think it's a Canadian thing, cough medicine.
Yeah.
You ever hear of Bentley's?
Sure.
You have?
I have.
Oh, so it's not Canadian.
Maybe it is.
And it tastes like battery acid. It is the most, and even in their ads, they brag about how horrible it tastes and how it really works. And it does.
Tastes like ass, Ed.
It tastes like ass, Sid. 792 on the pool. We're almost at 800 now, so we'll get what we get. How's that? Oh, Johnny Dark, the fake Mr. I think Mr. Radio is Steve Kane's old board op. Well, who the hell was Steve Kane's old board op? Nick Lawrence? Isn't Nick part of the extravaganza there on that station that nobody knows the call letters of and they have no ratings?
I thought he was.
Isn't he board hopping, or is what's his name?
You know, I don't keep track as much of that show as I used to. Oh, wait.
Yeah, Mr. Ego. Nobody even knows if he's on the air. He's got a lot of spots, though, man. He's got the penis doctor and the eye doctor and the earlobe doctor and the kneecap doctor and the toenail doctor. Let's see. This is the fake Mr. Radio. Oh. Woo! See, that's me. I'm just a little bit too negatory. I'm just not patient. You know that.
Sure.
Here's Gustavo. No, I didn't enjoy your stuff. It's old news. I already know it. It's about the unmentionable one, Crap. Don't waste my time with that crap. Here's poll questions. What would you do if McCain won? Celebrate, hide under the bed and cry, pick up and move to Canada, learn how to goose step, nothing, another 4 years of the same Schmidt. What would you do if Obama won? Celebrate. It's got the same, I see, pick up and move to Canada, learn how to fist pound with all my white friends, nothing, 4 years of something different. That's from Lisa in Miami. Thanks, Lisa. I don't know if they're any good, or do you think they're any good? No.
I don't know.
Not really. Not as good as the one from, what's her name? Tracy and Kendall. Isn't Tracy and Kendall, isn't she the one that is upset? Oh, here's the battleground states.
But we've added one state to that list that's often not thought of a battleground
Georgia.
State. And it happens to be the state where you are right
Georgia.
now, and that's the state of Georgia. Could that be a battleground? There was
Oh, my God.
That this could be a close election.
Uh-oh, he's got
Georgia.
what I got.
We'll see in just a few minutes
He's
how
got
close
Sligham.
it is. What's interesting about all 5 of those states is they all voted for George Bush in 2004. All red states, which suggests that this election, the 2008
Could be a
election,
landslide.
is being fought in states that are normally Republican. Republicans are on the defensive, and they're fighting to hold on to their territory.
And fight to hold on to your money because the Dow's down 359. It's not looking, it's spastic. Okay, here's the email from the fake Mr. Radio. 5 years ago, you did a poll regarding who was the best drummer of all time, and Keith Moon from The Who was omitted. Could you explain why he wasn't on the poll? What was your mindset in leaving him off? Did you ever have a bad experience with The Who? If so, could you describe the experience? Did the experience have anything to do with Johnny Dolan? Do you know where this is so Mr. Radio is Johnny Dolan.
Uh-huh.
Do you know where Johnny Dolan is now?
No.
How about Troy the Intern from WIOD days? Troy the Intern, do we remember him? I don't.
No.
Or Steve from a summer camp. Oh, Stem from summer camp. Stem was from summer camp? Do you remember the time when Stanley T. Major had Theodore Bickel in the studio as a guest? Those were the days, my friend, I thought they'd never end. Note, this is strictly a Mr. Radio parody. He needs to die so that his physical state can match his mental and emotional state. Yeah, Johnny Dolan is Mr. Radio. And this fake Johnny Dolan. Who else would mention his name? And Johnny Dolan's got a lot of time now because he was the sidekick on the footy show. And you kept making fun of me. Oh, you're the only one who pays attention to footy.
That's right.
As if I was publicizing him, as if I was giving him promotion.
The only one.
And there was a good reason for it because I knew he wouldn't be on very long. And as usual, I had my thumb right in it, just like little Jack Horner. No more footsie now. Here's a comment about it says, you look like a young track junkie.
What?
the picture. It says, Neil, you look like a young track junkie, whatever that means. Is that like horse track, race track? I don't know what that means. Or like a runner. Do I look like a runner? Yeah. Look like a real athlete. Or athlete's foot. Wasn't that footy? Athlete's foot? When he was on Y100? Excuse me, when he was on Y100? Remember those days?
Yep.
Poof, you're a talk host, footy. You're fired. You're out. You're done. Ron Fant, another radio groupie, says, I was reading the Detroit News website and found the following radio ratings. I see your old friend Dick Purton still on the air and doing well. Still listening in Michigan, Ron. And it's got the top 10 in Detroit. Do we care about this? No. In addition to which, the numbers here, I don't know what demographic these are. Joe Donovan and Robert Jacina on WWJ-AM have a 7.5 share. These can't be 12 plus. See, it doesn't tell me anything. Mike in the Morning, WRIF, 5.3, down from a 7.5. Number 6, a tie, Mojo in the Morning and Dick Purton and Purton's People on WOMC-FM, a 4.7, down from a 5.2. Tom Joyner's number 10 in Detroit with a 3.2 share. Tom Joyner. Wouldn't you think he'd be doing better than that? Jim Harper is on in Detroit, WMGC-FM. Jim Harper, I thought he was still dead with his purple sweater. Jim Harper was the production guy at INZ. He died a long time ago. Long ago. He's in a box. Just think of all the people in a box. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's your take on that? Cremation or in a box?
Oh, neither one. You do something more clever than that. Taxidermy.
Taxidermy?
Stuffed and mounted.
That's what McCain's going to do if he gets in, taxidermy.
Yeah.
And everybody else, too.
Ever been stuffed and mounted?
Steal from the poor, give to the rich. Robin Hood in reverse. That's the Republican Party. It doesn't really make any difference which candidate it is. It's all the same crap. Steal from the poor, give to the rich.
The biggest name.
Life is
The
a bitch.
best talent.
This is Neil Rogers.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The sports leader.
The biggest names, the best talent. You're listening to Sports Radio 560 WQAM. Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Hi, this is Steve Goldstein, but you can call me Geldy. Whenever I'm in town, I listen to... Wait a minute, I am in town. It's the 12 to 1 hour. That...
He could be in for life, he screwed up bad. This time not with a knife, he went scot-free. When he murdered his wife, this time he was not so lucky. So long, adios and goodbye, that big ding-dong. Behind bars he will cry, but he did wrong. And my friend, that is why it's all over for the juice man. A judge and jury said goodbye, O.J. Goodbye, O.J. He will go straight to hell after he leaves his cell. Arrivederci, see ya, farewell. A judge and jury said goodbye, O.J. Goodbye, O.J. Had no Johnny Cochran, so he just couldn't win. Too bad he doesn't have a twin. This crime wasn't bad as they go, but friends, this time there was no Lancito. It's so sublime. He should be on death row for the last crime he committed. Simpson never found the killer, that's why he's in. He blamed Phyllis Diller to his chagrin. Even Barney Miller couldn't save the dumb dim-witted. A judge and jury said goodbye, O.J. Goodbye, O.J. He will go straight to hell after he leaves his cell. Arrivederci, see ya, farewell. A judge and jury said goodbye, O.J.
Bye, bye, bye.
Goodbye, O.J. Had no Johnny Cochran, so he just couldn't win. Too bad he doesn't have a twin.
Well, CNN just breathlessly announced the 5 states, battleground states.
Mm-hmm.
You want to hear it? National today, their national poll, Barack Obama 50, McCain 42, 8-point lead. Colorado, Obama's leading 51-47. Georgia, McCain leads 53-45, so I don't know what they're trying to make a big simus about Georgia. Florida, Obama 51, McCain 46. Missouri, McCain 49, Obama 48. And Virginia, Obama 53, McCain 43%. You ready for that?
All right.
Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! Which Bush won last time by 8 points. And Obama's got a 10-point lead in Virginia. Old Virginia. Let's get the election over with. Let's have it today.
Okay.
814 votes on Chris's poll. You know something? If we'd have really thought about it, I think I want to change it. This poll sucks anyway. Should I change it?
Sure, if you want.
I have your permission to change the poll?
For today, yes.
Wow. Oh. George is right about you.
What, that he's fat?
Fat and smells like mung.
You know, he's the freshest smelling fat man I've ever known. And I've known many.
Here's the new one. I'm old when I'm asked if I'm a senior citizen. That's what I voted.
You want the senior Diet Coke? It's cheaper.
I look in the mirror. I talk to young people, talking about my favorite old movies, music, etc., TV. I remember when gas was under $1 a gallon, or a longtime celebrity gets older, dies. That's a good one. That's a good choice. So there's the new poll. Let's wrap up the other one. 814 vote. See, now we'll go over 1,000 for sure, because all we need is 186 on this one between now and 2, and you know we'll do that, right?
Yep, definitely.
We cheat. We cheat, and we're proud of it.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
That's right. Just like all this business about Acorn. You know what? If they're registering 50,000 people to vote for Obama, I'm all for it. And if they vote each 50,000 times, because that's what it takes. We had the last 2 elections stolen right in broad daylight. Florida in 2000, Ohio in 2004, and the media's like, they're mum. Remember the mummers?
Yeah.
The mummers parade? I remember the mumsers. That's what they have in Tamarack. Oh, that's where the report was yesterday on that schlepping for votes. The CNN guy was in Tamarack.
Oi! I don't know. He's a different color from me. He's a Schwarzer.
It's enough to make me give up Kreplach for the rest of my life. Definitely not Kishki, but I can't find it anyway. What's your recreational drug of choice? Alcohol, 431. Marijuana, 214. I don't do drugs, 87. Other, prescription designer, etc., 37. What about sniffing glue?
That's out.
No. Cocaine, 19. Acid, 10. Acid. Heroin, 8. Ecstasy, 7. Crystal meth, only 1. All the other crystal meth people are dead. At any rate, Steve says, back in the days when Marvin was your board op, I was the one who stayed on hold for hours, and you would cut to me when you wanted to hear,
I'm dying over here.
It wasn't the doctor and I'm still alive. Anytime you want me to go in the studio and prove it to you, I'm available, says Steve. He claims to be the original
I'm dying over here.
guy, as opposed to the doctor. Hello, doctor? I don't even know what he's talking about, do you?
No.
I got an email from Tiny. Oh, and Kenny Kramer is back again. He's just obsessed. Kenny, get a life. Do something. God. Oh, he must be with Davey Gravy Line.
Okay.
Because it says at rewardsnetwork.com. Isn't that Davey Gravy Line scam?
I don't know.
You don't hear from Davey Gravy Line?
No.
Come on.
Do you want me to?
No. I could tell you stories about Davey Gravy Line. I won't.
You have told me stories about
Not on the air.
No.
Oh. Well, let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
So, where's Davey Gravy Line?
We got 1 vote on the new poll. It's mine.
You want the senior Diet Coke?
Oh, now we got a couple. We got 8. By a big gorilla, we got 8. Tiny says, bow, wow, wow. This is Tiny emailing from the grave. Jesus and his stupid disciples finally coughed up enough money for internet up here in heaven. I miss you, Neil. I remember when we used to frolic together in the backyard. I used to eat the grass, and you used to yell at me. Sometimes I would eat your ice cream when you fell asleep, then I would barf all over the rug. I also remember when you used to rub peanut butter on your balls and let me lick it off. Neil, I miss you and think of you every day. I'm looking over you here in doggy heaven. Says Tiny. Oh, and you didn't get that picture of Tiny up there.
No,
on the website.
No.
Well, I think we shocked them enough today. Although there's nothing shocking about Tiny, just a little rat, little ratty-looking dog. Hey, Tiny, he's still dead. Mark Siptak says he went behind his wife's back and listed their newborn's daughter's name as Sarah McCain Palin on her birth certificate application because we're strong supporters of that ticket, according to the Kingsport Times News in Tennessee, of all places. Figures. She wanted Ava Grace, so with a clear conscience, even though I knew I was sort of going around her back, I kind of secretly put down Sarah McCain Palin instead of Ava Grace, another set of forms that I acquired from the front desk, he told WBIR-TV. As we were walking out of the hospital, I went ahead and gave those to the nurse. He gave it to the nurse. The Times News says a hospital spokesman confirmed that the forms were filed with the state. Siptak says he told his wife about the switch the next day while they were at the doctor's office. He says she was speechless. I felt a lot of cold air coming from her way, Siptak tells the station. Well, it's a damn good thing he didn't smell a lot of air coming from her
rectum
way.
Ooh.
Now, how does that work? You being the father of two girls.
What?
How does the naming process work? You have to fill out a thing?
When the child is born, there's a form where all kinds of vital statistics goes on there, the weights and the measures and things like that. And there's a lot of documentation, but yes, you choose a name right then and there.
Yeah. And who's used? The mother, the father, both?
The parents, of course.
So the parents have to agree? Because obviously in this case he went behind her back.
Usually the wife is very incapacitated around those times.
The wife?
Yes, or person. The female, being all doped up and in pain and in shock from having, an organism climb out of their body. So
I just got an email from Celia Cruz.
Oh, yeah?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And usually it's the father, if the woman has one present, that is answering all the stupid questions for the people filling out the paperwork. In our particular case, we had an arrangement. I don't know how other people do it.
Oh, Michael Shivo, why I'm voting no on 2. Joining Progress Florida in opposing Amendment 2, the so-called marriage amendment, says Michael Shivo. Well, good for you, Mikey. John McCain predicted Sunday he would beat Barack Obama in the final presidential debate this week. After I whip his you-know-what in this debate, we're going to be going out 24/7. He told volunteers at his campaign headquarters at Arlington, Virginia. Virginia, where he's 10 points down in the latest poll today. The Dow is down 333. We got you down, baby. Everything is down. We're going down. Dear Neil, yesterday you asked if they had the real Wheel of Fortune at the Hard Rock. Doesn't it have one payout line and 3 spinning wheels? Yes. If that's it, then they have them in $100 or $10 machines. They're in the high rollers room. Oh, forget about that. As I always tell you, my wife and I are there as much as you and enjoy every free perk they give us. And by the way, do you think McCain listens to your show and got the line, I'm your friend from Prozac Ron, says Larry. Yes, absolutely. I'm your friend. Although, actually, he'd probably be doing better. Oh, there's the guy from Cuckoo's Nest. You look like the late actor Vincent Schiavelli in that picture, says Jerry. You know which one he was?
No.
He was the tall, cretin-looking one. Well, there were a couple of them in Cuckoo's Nest. No, I don't look like that at all. I look a lot worse. For the poll about feeling old, can you please add when my children drive, says Mark in Miami. When my children drive. You got that?
Okay.
Okay. Now here's another one. See, they're dribbling in today. They're dribbling. Oh, here's the story about Dick Cheney's having an outpatient procedure. They're checking to see if he's got any heart. Miserable, rotten, crazy bastard. The Dow's down 328. You worried about it? I bet you Fat Chris ain't worried about it. He hasn't got enough to buy even like penny stocks.
Oh, I mean, I got some stock, but I'm not touching anything.
You have stock?
Yeah, it was given to me as gifts.
In what?
Exxon.
Exxon?
Uh-huh.
George was right about you.
The biggest names.
The best talent.
This is Neil Rogers.
Sports Radio 560
Rave Rogers.
QAM.
The sports leader.
The biggest names. The best talent.
It's the Mad Dog.
Jim Mandich. Afternoons 4 to 7.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The sports leader.
Ben Coates, get away from the ball, motherfucker.
John McCain. He is out of touch.
Senator Obama likes to talk loudly.
The Straight Talk Express lost a wheel on that one.
Who is the real Barack Obama?
The fight is on to get your vote. These guys go for the throat. They both bet, the other makes another slip or more mistakes. They look deep to find sleaze, throw it out to mudsling. Here come the lies to mislead. The truth will twist to all extremes. You know that we like to hear about the issues and stuff. Oh yeah.
With Barack Obama, you're going to be paying higher taxes.
We're further from the truth this day. Make it all up, you know we're gonna have to face it. They're slinging the mud. Might as well face it. They're slinging the mud. All right. Don't try to debate it. They're slinging the mud. Might as well face it. They're slinging the mud. Don't try to debate it. They're slinging the mud.
Putting a cigarette out on his tongue, McCain added, instead of debates, he and Obama be dropped naked into a forest with only a hunting knife to see who comes out alive.
All right. Woo! 12:18 at 560 WQAM. Happy Wednesday to you. We got the Big O coming back at 2. People are protesting outside the building, by the way. They're threatening to come in and de-skunk Jolly Joe Bell if we keep putting the Big O on here. Are you there?
I'm right here.
Oh, okay. Well, how come you're so quiet?
I didn't have anything to say to that.
Well, why not? I bet you'd pay to watch.
Oh, yeah, a lot.
Sal says, remember Chronic Sal?
Sure.
He stopped being so chronic, and occasionally he has something marginally interesting to say. This is in line with our discussion yesterday. Yesterday was too ass-intensive, man. Pooping and farting and, oh, my God, the whole damn show. Am I right?
Yep.
Well, that's because of the pull, you know?
Right.
Because of Fat Chris's pull. And one thing about us fat people, man, we poop and we fart a lot. And anybody who tells you otherwise is a liar. Right, Chris?
Sure.
You don't agree?
Well, it depends on what a lot is.
A lot. Sal says, I was out shopping with my wife. I had just eaten about a half a box of sugar-free cookies. We went into a Lowe's store. I was trying to hold it together till I got to the restroom, but we were all the way in the back of the restroom was all the way in the back of the store. Long story short, I had to cut my underwear off. I left them in the trash bin. I'm sure the guy in charge of cleaning that restroom was cursing me the rest of the week. The smell. Kneel God, it says.
Kneel God.
After the smell. Maybe it smelled like.
Kneel God.
Maybe I should drink a whole bottle of Bentleys.
Okay.
To get all the phlegm down from deep in my throat.
You could try some, booze, a nice liqueur, maybe some whiskey.
I don't do a
whiskey
booze.
Up your voice. I know, but you should let it do you every once in a while.
Celia Cruz says, I am Celia Cruz. I'm contacting you from the fires of hell. I'm very pissed off at you, Mr. Rogers. You've tarnished my good Cuban name. You've made fun of my tragic death from a terrible brain tumor. Oh, is that what she died from?
I don't know.
She had a tumor? I've spoken with Satan. We've decided to haunt you. I'm going to haunt you, Neil, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm not only going to haunt you, but George and fat-ass Chris as well. I know that my music sucked, but did a lot of good for the smell of Cubans in Little Havana. I've also kidnapped Tiny from heaven. He will die if you don't play my bit. Play the bit making fun of me or be haunted. Signed, Mrs. Cruz. She used to sing those haunting melodies.
Yeah.
No speaky English. No speaky English. If you could hear the frog that ran for prime minister here last night, Stéphane Dion, I mean, no speaky English is an understatement. Can't imagine why the Liberals did so poorly. It's like they're having a contest. Last time they had a guy named Paul Martin, who has a personality like a stiff, like a dead man, like a dead rat. Politics here is really very boring. 56 votes on the poll. I feel old when. Now, do we have room to add on there? I remember things that happened 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Will that fit in there?
Anything will fit in there.
It will?
You can put a book in there, yeah.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Are you sure?
Okay, let's add that, though. It would be a good one. I remember things from 50 years ago. That's what happens in life. You start thinking about things, and then you think, that happened 20 or 30 years ago. And then one day you start thinking about the same things, and you realize, that was like 40, 50 years ago. And then one day you don't wake up and think about it. You just don't wake up. Oh, speaking of that.
And this is a failure.
Yeah, you're right. Your campaign. He's talking about his campaign. He said, this is a failure. I feel old when a longtime celebrity gets older, dies, 15. Like Don and Phil Everly. One of these days they're going to die. One of them. Maybe both of them. And you know who else? Luke Halpin.
Yeah.
Sandy from Flipper. Who do you think is going to live longer, me or Luke?
Luke.
Now, why do you say that?
Maybe he's not fat. Diabetic.
Maybe his parents didn't both live to 90. Maybe he's got bad genes.
Maybe he does dangerous things like skydive.
Google him and see how old he is. Luke Halpin, Halpin. Hey, Luke. I talk to young people, 12, makes me feel old. I'm asked if I'm a senior citizen, 9. I look in the mirror, 9. Talking about my favorite old movies, music, TV,
he was born in 47.
9. He was what? So he's 60. 61. What month?
Yeah, 61, April.
April 4.
Oh. 61, Luke Halpin. Now, do you know how old that makes me feel?
Very?
Flipper. Fleeper.
You
hey,
Flipper.
I bet your Fleeper's dead.
If I like her.
And I remember when gas was under $1 a gallon, 5. Out of the first 59 votes on Chris's new poll, 66 votes. When a longtime celebrity gets older, dies. Like Pat Boone, he'll be dead. He's doing that reverse mortgage infomercial thing. Have you seen those spots?
Yep.
Hi, everybody. I'm Pat Boone. Boy, he sure used to look pretty, I'll tell you that. Wow. He's a real a-hole, but he sure used to look real pretty. Sure got a pretty mouth. Nicholas says, my name is Nicholas so-and-so. I don't use last names unless I want to piss somebody off. I'm a 24-year-old male from Pompano Beach, Florida. I stumbled across your website today, also found your show. I think that you are a very attractive man. Your looks could be a bit better, but your intelligence and wit is unmatched. I've been searching my whole life for a sexy beast like you. I would like you to fly me up to Toronto so we can meet. If you like me, I'll rent an apartment in Toronto so we can get to know each other a little better. If we hit it off, I can become your sex slave and fulfill your every desire. Please, Nelson, let me something. My something have been waiting 24 years for my loins have been waiting 24 years for a man of your stature. Please email me back. I need you. P.S. Happy to send you a picture if you're interested.
You fairy.
Anthony says, I finally found the cure for unwanted erections. He's talking about the picture. If you tune in late, by the way, there's a really nifty picture right under the poll on NeilRogers.com. 20 years ago, that was me. Not just fat, disheveled and just grotesque. Gruesome. Anthony says, I used to envision Shaquille O'Neal and Manute Bol making out to lose an unwanted erection. Your picture will now supplant that vision. I only hope this picture doesn't enter my head when I'm trying to be intimate with my wife. Even Viagra and Cialis' 4-hour erection can be remedied by that picture. It's pretty grotesque. It's not just fat, it's just gross. Oh. Would you agree?
Yes. Gross.
Bastard.
Grody.
Doug says, just wanted to drop a line and tell you I would have emailed earlier, but I was too busy pleasuring myself to the vision of loveliness on my monitor. Now I'll have to clean off my keyboard. Just kidding, but I love your show and glad to be your friend. He's my friend, Doug. Be my friend. I'm your friend. John McCain. Friends. Debbie says, was wondering if George noticed at election time gas prices always fall. It's harder than hell to find weed. Love the show. Kiss, kiss, says Debbie. Is it hard to find weed?
No.
Hey, Debbie, George will take care of you.
It depends. Send a picture.
He'll take care of you in all different ways.
It depends.
The biggest names.
The best
Oh, for sure.
Neil Rogers.
It depends.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The sports leader.
The sports leader.
This is an ABC News special report.
Governor Palin she had to deal with a heckler during a campaign stop.
Governor Palin, how will your administration deal with the current financial crisis?
It's going to be a multifaceted solution.
Could you be a little bit more specific?
With Barack Obama, you're going to be paying higher taxes.
Could you give us an answer that's not on a 3x5 card?
Gosh darn it.
My son's over in Iraq fighting for your right to protest.
What?
We are not afraid to get mavericky.
Unmistakably, this is television at its best.
Specific examples.
I'll try to find you some and I'll bring them to you.
Gosh darn it.
I'll bring him to you. Oh, brother. Anybody who's just buffaloed by that bitch deserves to be sent to Buffalo. God. It's even the right-wingers now are like, how did McCain come up with this crap? How dare he? Well, he did. He finished himself off. It was kind of like he took a gun and put it to his temple. Eric in Tamarack, speaking of temple, says, I've been campaigning for Obama in my neighborhood, which is mostly old Jews. Most of them don't even know anything about Obama. A large group of seniors are misinformed. I've been stopping by at homes, having one-on-ones and eating tons of matzo ball soup, matzo brie, and mandelbread. I love the way he spelled mandelbread. I'm doing all I can, but keep eating this crap. I won't be able to walk out the front door. P.S. The seniors think I only want to stop by. Oh, I see. The seniors, I think, only want me to stop by so they can have me change a light bulb, eat their crap, hear about their single granddaughter who's around my age, says Eric in Tamarack. Maybe their single granddaughter puts out. Eric. Maybe Eric is gay. You never know. Maybe they have a grandson. WB, remember him? WB in Palm Beach?
Yes, I do.
Wasn't he the Palm Beach troublemaker or something like that?
I don't know, maybe.
Well, he's got the email thing down. Neil at neilrogers.com, by the way. And everybody take a look at that lovely picture of me from 20 years ago under the pool. Right under the pool on neilrogers.com. It's worth a peek, although it is lunch hour. Sorry. Walt says, every day I torture myself by going to this site to see what the grave-robbing oil traders are doing. Lately, they've been dying a slow, painful death. Today, oil is only $71.39 a barrel. Gas wholesale is $1.81 a gallon. Oh, and isn't it interesting? The election is like a day less than 3 weeks away, like Debbie said. This is Debbie. Nothing like a presidential election to reel a price. F 'em all, says WB. F 'em all. F 'em Zimbalist Jr. I couldn't believe that he was on that Getchke channel reading the Bible, reading the New Testament. Yep. They still have that on there?
I don't know.
Wasn't that the Jan and Paul Crotch channel? Are they still on, Jan and Paul Crotch? Remember he got involved in that gay scandal? Well, you know, those religionists, they'll do anybody. Oh, God, that's good. Fat Chris sends me another email. Boy, you sure are busy today.
Yeah, well, you know.
I do know. Oh, Nancy Reagan hospitalized. Boy, first Dick Cheney and now Nancy.
Wow. First Lady has been...
Oh, she's got a broken pelvis. I thought it said a broken penis. Oh, no.
We are going to continue to work this story, of course, and get you the latest information.
Well, I can't wait. And there she is with like a white outfit on. She didn't have her little red dress. Maybe God is punishing her for not having her red dress. Fat Chris says, you keep making fun of me, but in that picture you look just like Khalik Sheikh Mohammed. Die, you terrorist. You know something? I think that's a good point without the mustache.
Who?
From the 1994 attack on the World Trade Center. Don't you remember Khalid Sheikh Mohammed?
I must have slipped my mind.
Big fat terrorist.
I remember.
Joey Reynolds, the fake Joey Reynolds sends us. Oh, Joey Reynolds 710. 710 is the old WGBS. That's Radio Mambi now, the old GBS. How's Ken Malden doing, by the way? We hear anything?
No. I haven't, anyway.
I heard he was ill.
I don't know.
I haven't heard anything.
Well, don't leave that long pause like that. It scares the hell out of me. He's a great guy.
Yes, he is.
But then again, he's Jewish. Hank and I were talking about that. If they knew Ken Malden was Jewish, they'd have blown him out of there a long time ago. Joey says, you haven't changed. You're the ringleader of negativity. You ran off the bird. You turned on Hank Goldberg, Randy Rhoads, Phil Hendry, countless others.
Are you sure?
This is why you're stuck doing Miami radio. You tried to run me out of town when I was against you on She because you were jealous. You were jealous of Tom Leykis, Steve Kane, or anyone else you were threatened by. It's funny that you and Glenn would tell us how much of a genius Howard Stern was when he was only on in New York. As soon as he was syndicated, he went on Miami, your story changed. It's a shame that you've wasted your career because you're a great talent. In the late 80s, you were on the cutting edge. Too bad your big ego got in the way. Best regards, Joey. Oh, woo! Celia Cruz and Joey. And here's one from Fat Rich. One thing about South Florida, you can get emails from dead people. This is Fat Rich from the grave. It says, I'm emailing with a message for Chris. Please pass along. Boy, you sure are popular today. I think the fact that I put that super fat old picture of me on there, I think that fat is where it's at today. That fat is on my mind. Remember that song? By the Easy Beats?
Mm-hmm.
Friday on the Fat is on my mind.
It's one of my favorites.
Chris, I know that it's difficult being a fat lard ass. I was one too. You need to stop eating, you fat slob. I've seen into the future you're going to be dead soon. You're so fat that you're starting to smell, and you haven't seen your penis since you were 10 years old. That may be a good thing, considering how small it is. You are fat, Chris. You need to get your stomach stapled immediately, says Fat Rich. Take it from a guy who knew fat, man. He knew his fat. God, he was gigantic. Now, did I send you those other pictures?
Which ones?
The ones that my friend Dave sent me from a zillion years ago, like when we were having dinner at the Rhapsody in the Tropicana.
Yeah, and you're wearing your Charles Nelson Riley sunglasses.
Yeah, I was wearing all those
your, Elton John goggles.
Those Guayaberas.
Yes.
See, one thing about us fat people, when you get into those like XXL sizes and everything, they don't make any decent looking clothing. All these people, well, how's your wardrobe, Neil? My wardrobe always has been crap because they don't make any decent, although now I'm like a little more human. Even Paco admits I don't look homeless anymore. Almost human. But I used to wear those Hawaiian shirts. Those big, gigantic, XXXXL.
Party animal
I bet you that Fat Chris has worn some of those kind of things.
He's wearing one now.
Guayabera?
A Hawaiian shirt. It's got hibiscus on it.
Amy, a lady listener in New York, who says Obama 08, wondering if you think this propaganda is aimed at the Jews in Florida. Pathetic. Love you, Neil. Amy, a lady listener, but there's nothing with it. It says Jesse Jackson of the New York Post, and it says propaganda. Maybe Jesse's going to pay a visit to Hymietown, you think?
Ooh.
What?
Who would say such a thing?
Jesse. Maybe I'll have to play Jesse's love child. A little something, Dow's down 349. Not good. This good.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The sports leader.
The biggest names, the best talent. It's the Big O. Orlando Alzugari. Afternoons 2 to 4. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The sports leader.
No, good.
Tonight, it's a new Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Tonight on Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? The mother of all contestants.
Our family has the same ups and downs as any other, the same challenges and the same joys. Sometimes even the greatest joys bring challenge.
The first ever westbound Pony Express delivery started in Missouri and ended in what U.S. state?
The great state of Alaska.
Not smarter than a fifth grader. Which of the following is a country in Africa? Albania, Argentina, Algeria.
Canada, Mexico, and then, that trip that was a trip of a lifetime. And we've got to keep an eye on Russia.
No, not smarter than a fifth grader.
They're our next door neighbors. And you can actually see Russia from land here in Alaska.
I am so sorry. Not smarter than a fifth grader.
I am so sorry. 12:43 at 560 WQAM. The Big O at 2, Mad Dog at 4. And after that, Schluffen. Greg says, Neil from Loretta, Florida. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Is there such a place as Loretta?
There must be. Why would they lie?
No. I feel old when my mind makes a promise my body can't fulfill. Also, Exxon down 7.3. Woohoo, says Greg. Oh, that's just to make Chris feel bad. But you don't care. You're holding on to that till you croak, right?
Correct. It was given to me as a present when I was like a year old, so.
Zisco, who's just out of control lately after abandoning us for a long time like a bunch of stepchildren. Remember those days?
Yep.
In fact, the MySpace people, they've all abandoned us, pretty much. That thing is just all of those, Facebook and MySpace and Your Place and what are the other ones?
I don't know.
Date.com or whatever that crap.
Those are different things.
Whatever they are. It's all pretty much caca, you know. A lot of fakers, imposters.
Caca.
Yeah. And it's a novelty for a little while, and then that's the end of that. There's Nancy Reagan. She's ill.
Isn't required. She is in some pain and undergoing.
She had a bad fall at home, and she injured her penis last week. And now she's in the hospital. If Chris would be so gracious, I'd like to suggest a poll for him, says Zisco. So listen to this, and maybe you'll approve or disapprove. What do you think?
Okay, I'll listen.
If he allows it, here it is. What do you think of Neil's picture? George was suggesting that this morning.
Yep.
Here are the choices that Zisco lists. Sexy. Yikes. You look like a gym rat. That's what I thought he would have looked like. Not what I pictured he'd look like. You ever seen a gym? Neil, I thought that was a young Marlon Brando. Hot. Neil, I thought that was an old Marlon Brando. Feh. Oof, I'd like to have a go at him. Oof, I'd like to have him remove the picture. Oof. I'd like for Neil to take a similar picture today for comparison. No opinion, or I'll keep my opinion private. Obviously, Chris, this poll and its choices would be negotiable. I hope it meets your standards. All hail Chris, the poll god. I think Zisco's got thoughts for you.
No, thank you.
How do you know?
I don't know. I don't know and I don't care. I'm not interested in him.
Now, how do you know that? Why would you make a snap judgment like that?
Wait till you see his picture.
Because I'm not interested in guys.
Well, you never know.
No, I do know.
You never know about guys until you tries. Dow is down 327.
Didn't I tell you?
What?
I tried telling that on one of these other shows. Because he's ugly, he doesn't get hit on by guys. But when a gay guy likes you, they say things like that. Don't know until you try it. Things like that.
Oh, wait till you see this email. This is the best. When you think you've reached the pinnacle of life, and then something comes along and you realize it's kind of like my trip to Berlin a couple summers ago.
Okay.
Well, I don't know why I'm thinking about that. That's so sad. And you know why it's sad? Because it's in the past. I've had many good trips to Berlin, but nevertheless. 135 votes on the poll. Now, what did we do on the first one? Take a peek at it.
It was 816.
816 and 135. And what do you get? Another day older? That's 951. We need only 49 votes for 1,000 for the day. See, we don't get our 1,000 anymore because Eric, a lot of these times, he puts the poll on there late at night. And we don't change it till like late, as opposed to cheating when you put it on the day before, like at 2 o'clock or 3, and you get a head start. Wait till you hear this email. You know who it's from?
Hi, boy, I don't know.
The Mad Trumpeter. He says, the highlight of my life was calling you when you had Jacques Cousteau on the air and going, la-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And at the end of the poll idea, which I'll get to in a second, at the end of it, he's got written out, la-da-da-da, like 600 times, with several exclamation points at the end. La-da-da-da, and this is the guy with the yellow teeth that comes to the appearances.
Ken Block?
Yeah, I think it's, I get confused.
Or a fake Mad Trumpeter, since you've told that story a million times.
No. Nobody. Believe me, this is the Mad Trumpeter.
Dude, we have people pretending to be Prozac Ron.
Yeah. So you don't believe this is the Mad Trumpeter?
I don't necessarily believe it's the Mad Trumpeter.
His email address is la-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-at Anyway, poll idea. Who's the ultimate poster child for anti-Semitism? We've done that one, but I like that. Jeff Goldblum, Richard Dreyfuss, Elliot Gould, Barbara Streisand, Bette Midler, Jerry Seinfeld. He gets my vote every time. He's just dripping with New York Jewishness. Barry Manilow, Adam Scallions. I don't even know who that is. I do like Scallions, though.
Adam Scallions? I don't know.
Who's Adam Scallions?
I don't know. We could Google him.
You don't know who it is?
No.
And what about you, Fatso?
Never heard of him.
Neil Diamond, Henry Kissinger. Henry Kissinger is Jewish?
You didn't know.
Gene Simmons and Topol. Topol?
Topol. From
Who's
Fiddler
Topol?
on the Roof.
Oh.
If I was a rich man, that guy.
Well, that's not a real, that's a character.
No, that's his name.
The actor?
Yes.
I don't know who that is.
Topol.
Topol?
Yeah, the smoker's toothpaste.
Did you Google Adam Stanions, Stanions, as in onions?
Lifeguard Adam Stanions.
Oh! There really is such a person?
It's the only thing that came up.
Beach Patrol Miami on Court TV, yeah.
Right. You've got to be kidding me. Poster child for anti-Semitism. How about Jew Lieberman? I'm going to use this poll. I know we've done it before. I'm going to use it one day. Jew Lieberman. I look at him and I want to kill somebody. Such a farbisson, such a phony baloney, and a whiner. Well, I think that John McCain is the answer to Israel. Oh, my God. Feh to Jew Lieberman. Just say feh. That sure goes back a ways.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me feel old when I think back to the KAT days. 147 votes on the old poll. Here's Michael, chronic emailer, says, I don't know how you'd put this on a poll, but in my business we have to take people's driver's licenses for proof of identity. People born in the mid to late 80s are grown up, and in the context of my business, buying houses, not enough of them though. So, what does that mean?
I don't understand that at all.
Well, you feel old when you realize that there are people who were born like in the 80s and 90s. Oh, here's Tom again. Tom, who's got all his tech problems, you know. Neil, you said you wanted input on your picture, and I said one can't say something else, and you ripped me. That's right. It's not fun. That's for old fuddy-duddies. If you can't say something nice about someone, don't say anything. That's for silly old people. If you can't rip somebody an ass, it's no fun. Christ. So you want my take on that? Sorry, I won't. But I just channeled your mother, and she told me you look like a chazer. You just rolled out of bed with the vants on your, what? Pupik. Schmutz on your drawers. No, that's not. Trafe on your cheeks. Feh. Your father was right. You're a chamyankel. But I still love you. Zagazun. Ma. How do you like that? This guy's got some chutzpah, man. It's one thing to do tiny. It's another thing to do my ma.
Well, maybe that person's one of those psychic mediums. He's channeling all these people.
Yeah, he's a sidekick, all right. Maybe he could be your sidekick on the days when Suds can't be there.
Right.
Or what's her name? Lucy Lopez. We got to take a poll on Lucy Lopez.
Okay.
No. It's just a joke. That would be just an opportunity for cheap shot artists, that's all.
Right.
And they love that.
Mm-hmm.
Took a couple of calls earlier, and, of course, one of them was, I'm your friend, or two of them, I think, weren't they? I'm your friend.
Buddies, yeah.
My good buddy. Friends. Everybody is so friendly. You know, like all those friends on MySpace that you never hear from. It's like I said, like a novelty. It's like a kid with a new toy.
Mm-hmm.
Or like a dog. I think dogs are even worse than little kids, aren't they? With toys.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of tiny. Yeah, you get a dog, a new toy, and they get all excited about it, and they diddle with it for a little while, and they shove it off to the side, like, what do you got for me next? What do you got for me next, Fatso? What's the next? So should I email you those pictures again?
Yes, please. Resend. Or just send them to Eric. Avoid the middleman.
Well, no, I don't know if I want to do that, because he'll just go ahead and put them all on there. I don't want to do that. He can pick and choose?
Yes. He can spick and choose. Just like
no, I don't want to put all, like just stem on there and those people.
Forward it and I'll tell him which one. The one with the dog, Eric. He's listening right now.
How do you know that?
I'll make sure. However you want to do it, Daddy-O. If you already got my name in the address bar there, then just fire it away.
Now, how come I can't open this email now? Oh, there it is. There's one of me and your good friend Dave at some collectible store. It looks like, I don't know, swap shop. There I am signing autographs at some other place. We don't want to see those. Those are boring. Here's some guy, some ugly guy. I don't even know who he is. Who's at our appearance? There's old Stem and Harlan and Kevin. Oh, there's Brian from the ice cream shop from Emac and Bolio's. There's me and your friend Dave at the Rhapsody in the Tropicana. And there's Troy with Tiny. Oh, poor little Tiny. Come on, Tiny. Over here. Drop another little load on the floor. You know what really used to aggravate the crap out of me? Speaking of crap.
What?
I mean, you know my house.
Yes.
And I have that big fenced-in yard.
Yes.
And he would spend a lot of time outside. He was always begging to go out, like he really had to do something, you know. And there would be times when he'd be out in the yard, noodling around, barking and carrying on, and just being a general jerk for like an hour. Then he'd come in, and I'd close the door, and within like a minute, I'd hear him in my bedroom scratching the floor, having just peed all over the place.
All right.
Yeah, after being outside for an hour. Now, this isn't a puppy. This is like a 10-year-old, 12-year-old dog.
Right. They do that
An
to
adult.
send a message when they do that.
Really?
Yeah, they do it on purpose.
And what's the message? I hate you like poison and I wish you would die?
Pay attention to me. You're not paying enough attention to me. I'm upset about something.
Oh,
I'm
pay
jealous
attention?
of somebody. You're paying too much attention to somebody else. Another dog, another person, whatever. You're watching TV.
Wah.
Yeah,
Wah.
exactly. I'm going to come over here and pee.
Yeah, he had a favorite spot right outside my closet. Not that it was the only spot, but it was the favorite spot. In fact, the last time I had Draw Concepts there and they cleaned the carpets, they said that one spot was like the carpet from the acid, from the urine, the carpet was just like eaten away, you know?
Well, there you go.
Now it's gotten back to within 300, 289. Aren't you pleased?
As punch.
And let's take a look while we're at all this financial stuff, because all these people getting all emotional. Don't you understand? Oil is 75.85. It went, I don't know. I thought it was 71. Toronto Stock Exchange is down 308. The Canadian loonie is 84.70. It was down to 82 cents a couple of days ago. That was really great. 84.70, not so bad. 84.5 cents. Let's get that loonie down to about 20 cents. Then I can really live high on the hog. Speaking of that picture. And what do we want to see? Oh, we just got through seeing the loonie. You know who they had on yesterday talking about the Alaska Independence Party and about the fact that the Palins, she and her husband, were both in tight with them? I mean, everybody knows the ARP are a bunch of crazy people and secessionists and just right-wing wackos. And they have Rick Sanchez on there on CNN doing the story. I mean, doesn't that make you wonder what the hell they're thinking about? What are you people thinking about at Certainly Not News Network? Crazy people.
Biggest names.
Hyperventilating Ricky Ticky Sanchez.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The sports leader.
The biggest names, the
What do all
best
these
talent.
clicking and popping and puking
You're
doing some of
listening
these
to
spots?
Sports Radio
the way they were
560 WQAM. Miami, Fort Lauderdale. It's the 1 to 2 hour.
Tonight, Fox News presents an expose on the Chicago-based radical group of gay meteorologists in the early 1970s, known as the Weather Underground.
Hail, sisters. Check out my high-pressure ridge south of my border. Oh, ain't that the perfect store? It's raining men. We're doing fine now on Cloud 9. And see to a light shot.
What do you mean by that?
Huh?
Ain't no thieves in Chicago.
I know, honey, but I hear other weathermen say it.
What's that mean anyway?
I don't know, honey. Light shot hooey and Hong Kong fooey.
Discover the truth behind Barack Hussein Obama's involvement with the Weather Underground.
Gay weathermen who go underground.
Who's that kid you were telling me about?
Oh, that little sweetie with the silly name. Barack O'Reilly or something.
Ain't he too young to be playing with the pointer?
Oh, nothing like that, sugar. He just wants me to teach him how to write backwards. Who knows? He may grow up to be president someday.
Yeah, right.
The Weather Underground, or Underground Weather, exposed. Only on fairly unbalanced Fox News.
All right.
103 at 560 WQM. It's our big 1 to 2 hour. I got my pantaloonies on and my shirt.
Good.
Not my shoes yet, though. Got my shoes right by.
Jess?
Jess. That's because my cabbie is picking me up at 2 o'clock. I'm going to zip off to Woodbine. win millions of dollars, billions, and then I'll never see you again. I'd send you a postcard, though.
Well, good.
Now, that's an interesting question. If that would happen, if I had all, like $1 billion, or if you had $1 billion, where would you go and, and hang out?
I got plans.
Yeah, you're not telling us?
Oh, well, there are places that I would like to go in the world, obviously. But when I was ready to roost, I would start exploring places like snowbirding. It sounds like fun. So maybe, winters, somewhere warm, and, summers somewhere nice like Vancouver, maybe, things like that.
Yeah. Oh, Vancouver's great.
Right. Winters in like Belize or something nice, unpopulated. I want to get away from people.
This is really interesting. Well, I mean, it's sick. Email from Reggie Cray at the Management UK. Subject, Adam Stanions, misspelled. And then it says, Eddie, this is Eddie, babloop, babloop, babloop. And it just goes on. Then it says, hold on, I have to go get a glass of water. And then it comes back, Eddie, this is Eddie, babloop, babloop. Click. Why do they do that?
They're
I'm not talking about the Eddie part. I'm talking about the email address. The Management UK. Subject, Adam Stanions. Babloop, babloop, babloop. Here's a guy who says about 10 years ago I was performing a coil acid wash in the Kendall area. What the hell's a coil acid wash?
I have no idea.
For AC.
No. Like always, I had my radio on your show. The homeowner came out to see what I was doing. When he heard you on the radio, he told me his name was Rich and that he knew you personally and what a nice guy you were. His house had all the shutters on, even though it was close to January, and about 4 or 5 cats. As you can imagine, it smelled like pure ammonia. He looked just like that picture on your site. No, he was bigger than that. He was big as a house. Cats. I never knew that Rich had cats. Of course, I also didn't know that he had a wife. She lived kind of like way over on one side of the house, and he lived on the other side.
I see.
Oh, it's, I still don't get it. I mean, I think I get it, but...
Well, you should go out and get you some.
Oh, you're just such an agent provocateur. You leave me limp, weak.
Yeah, well, good,
weak.
Good.
Like that picture.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sending any other pictures, though. Maybe like one a month. Neil's picture of the month. Dow's down 357. It's regressing. It's not good. Big debate tonight. The Electoral College, look at that. CNN's got it, Obama 254, McCain 174. And now they're hawking about Colorado.
It's tilted Republican in the past 3 White House races.
Not now.
But Democrats say that they sense a real opportunity around this time last year. So what does the latest poll say right now?
51-47 Obama.
Colorado and 3 other toss-up states within the last hour or so. Let's go ahead and take a look at them. According to new surveys by CNN, Time Magazine, and the Opinion Research Corporation, Barack Obama leads John McCain by 4 points in Colorado. And he's leading McCain by 5 points in Florida. Now, perhaps most troubling for McCain are the results from Virginia. Our poll gives Obama a 10-point lead in a state that has traditionally been a safe bet for Republicans.
Oh, my God.
185 on the poll. Guess what, Fatso?
We made it?
We made it. We're over 1,000. We got 1,001 altogether today. I think I can leave now. Put my shoes on and waddle out of here. What do you think?
Sure.
Oh, we got 1,000 votes on the 2 polls. We cheated, but who cares?
Let's just shut her down now.
Friday, we got the ratings coming out, 10 o'clock Friday morning, right at the get-go, right off the bat. I wonder where that expression came from, right off the bat. Is that a baseball expression?
Must be. Or Batman expression.
Or maybe it's a cave expression.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's see. Johnny Dark, Ray Mr. Radio. I think Mr. Radio is Steve Kane's old board op. Brian Craig. Could be. Hey, Brian.
You fairy.
Norma still says you weren't that good. He looked pretty good, though. I'll tell you that back then. I would imagine he looks bad. Now, there's Dick Cheney.
Used an electrical impulse.
Abnormal heart rhythm. He's having an outpatient procedure. They're going to give him a heart implant to replace the lack of one. Miserable bastardo. Let's see. Here's the newest global Cuban group on Facebook. Invite all your Cuban friends, full Cuban, half Cuban, a little Cuban, even if you don't, just a crazy Cuban. Doesn't matter. Cubanos Unidos. Can I read these? Oh, there's like 7,000 of these things on here.
I'm sure.
Well, let me read you a couple and see if there's, in no particular order. 1, have you ever been hit by a chancleta?
A sandal or a flip-flop. Chancleta.
2, you grew up scared by something called El Coco.
Nope.
3, others tell you to stop screaming when you're really just talking. 4, you light a candle to the Virgin Mary on the night before your big test. 5, you use your lips to point something out. 6, you constantly refer to cereal as cornflakes. Oh, Kellogg's cornflakes. 7, your mother yells at the top of her lungs to call you for dinner, even if it's a one-bedroom apartment. 8, you can dance merengue, kumbaya, or salsa without music. What's kumbaya?
Type of dance, type of music.
9, use margarina instead of olive oil and can't figure out why your butt is getting bigger. And this goes, there's 80 million of these.
I know, and it's not funny. It's been around.
There's not even a one of them that's even, your whole family is running on Cuban time.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's the same as Mexico time. Brian Craig, Steve Kane's old board op, is Mr. Radio. So says the fake Johnny Dark. Wouldn't that be a kick in the teeth?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't surprise me. I'm sure he ain't got much going on. What are the call letters? If somebody put a gun to your head and said, what are the call letters that Mr. Ego is on? The station. And what's the frequency?
I don't know, Kenneth.
I think it's like 1470. Now, is it WWNN, the motivation station, which nobody's motivated to listen to? That Mr. Ego has to buy his way on the air? He has to buy the airtime and sell his own spots? The doctors, what was the name of those eye doctors? The doctors, something about one thing about Mr. Ego, he would always announce the spot that was coming. You know what I mean?
No, what do you mean?
Bert and Jax. You know, he would just announce the name of the doctor's Einhorn. That's what it was. The doctor's Einhorn. And then he would go into this long thing about how they sliced up his eyeballs and they cut off his penis and they attached it to his left leg and all this other. It's just wild stuff. Body by commercial. Like the time that our sales department, remember this? Not that long, a few years ago. Screw Ann, she was still there, and they wanted me to go to have the LASIK eye surgery in order to sell some client. And I said no, and they were just livid. I said, I don't do Mr. Ego. I don't use my body as an experiment to sell spots. Remember that?
Yep.
They were serial.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted me to go have LASIK, slice my eyeballs. And then, of course, George went and had his balls sliced. He didn't even get any money for it.
Don't cut!
Right. Actually, he ran spots for a while, and I did lives, so it all worked out.
Doug is back again. Doug is chronic. He's okay. I was supposed to be getting my colonoscopy today, but the doctor canceled it because my blood sugar was over 200. My triglycerides were 400 or 500 something. Wow. I'm not very overweight, 6'3" and 200 pounds. I don't eat a lot of sweets or junk food. What's the best way of getting my blood sugar down fast, dead serious in Hollywood? Do Atkins. No carbs for a couple of days, and your blood sugar will be down nice and low. I wish I could do it. I did it yesterday. No, not yesterday, the day before. I had one day I was good. Write it in my diary, okay? One day, a Monday, October 13th, 2008. I was a good boy. You think I can lose that 30 pounds?
Sure you can. You can.
I've been training to lose for all these years?
Can.
You think I will?
No.
Oh.
The biggest names.
The best talent.
This is Neil Rogers.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
The sports leader.
The biggest names.
The best talent.
It's the big dog, Joe Rose.
Weekday morning, 7 to 10.
Sports Radio 560 QAM. The sports
leader.
Neil Rogers.
Daddy has a problem and went to the doc. He got a prescription, now he's hard as a rock. Yeah, he's going all night, 'cause that pill is alright. Daddy's on Viagra, Mama never sleeps at night.
Hey, speaking of wieners, guess what I'm having for lunch right now?
Wieners?
Good guess. No, not plural, just one. Solamente uno.
Okay.
225 on our second poll there. About what makes you feel really old. Let's see, for the anti-Semitism poll, Woody Allen needs to be on there, somebody says.
Okay. Good choice.
What did I do with that
Wiener?
Anti-Semitism poll? Oh, I sure hope I didn't Schmidt can it. That's okay, I can bring it back. I'm busy now, so I can't log on to my other 85 names. It says, can I give their suggestions here? The Dork Lady nominates Harvey Fierstein.